Welcome to Books. Girls who read.
Girls reading books.
Possible? I don't know.
Girls reading books.
Hello and welcome to a book club episode of Sort of the Story.
We're not doing that again, so
No.
that's what you get, guys.
That's it.
Go to the end of the episode if you want to hear what it sounded like at the beginning. It was worse than that.
Not good.
I'm Janie.
And I'm Max.
And I'm Lauren.
I'm Scarlett.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, here's the thing, guys. Usually the book club episodes go to our Discord feed and people get to listen to them or not, right? Today they're on the main feed, and yes, we have guests for the first time ever, and no, we're not prepared for it, but who was expecting it? Not you guys. So today we have Scarlett St. Clair and Lauren Boyle. Hi guys, welcome.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
Woo.
Yeah, we're really happy you guys are here. So, again, welcome to the book club episode. Today we're discussing the book Mountains Made of Glass by Scarlett St. Clair. And we happen to have the author of Mountains Made of Glass, Scarlett St. Clair, as well as the illustrator for the book, Lauren Boyle. Yay. And I'm going to do a really quick introduction. In case you guys don't know who these people are, first of all, go on Instagram once in a while.
Yeah.
But Scarlett St. Clair is a New York Times bestselling author, as well as international and USA Today bestselling author of books like A Touch of Darkness, which is Hades and Persephone, and King of Battle and Blood, which is Adrienne and Isolde, and a bunch of other books in between there. And now she's started a whole new series. Is there a name for this? It's Mountains. We've been calling it Mountains.
It's just fairy tale retelling.
Just fairy tale
I don't like
retelling.
series titles. Yeah, it really is. I'm not even kidding.
Well, it's the perfect place, honestly. You're in the perfect place. All we do is talk about fairy tales. And also Lauren Boyle, who is a middle school art teacher, a professional book talk illustrator, and friend who let me, Janie, officiate her wedding. So now her whole marriage relies on me not getting mad and divorcing her and her husband. Welcome, everybody.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. Yeah.
Did you
I
keep
hold
the
a lot.
receipt?
No. It's not even valid.
So Janie and I, as many listeners will know, have a podcast called Sort of the Story, where we talk about fairy tales and folklore. This book, Mountains Made of Glass, is based primarily in a lot of fairy tales and folklore, which was really exciting for us reading it because we have become very attuned to a lot of tropes and specific things that come from fairy tales and folklore. And so this was kind of like having a conversation with a fellow professional in the field of fairy tales and folklore. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're coming from with our experience. Janie and I have both also read romance novels in the past.
We've dabbled.
Just a slight dabbling in the romance novels.
I'll just go ahead and put my business on the table. I got really into Draco and Harry fanfiction, and I would consider myself a connoisseur of the craft from like 9 to the age of like 17. So that's most of my experience. And that prepared me for this, I think.
And I never read any fan fiction ever in my life. And recently I saw HEA in hashtags, and I thought very confidently that that stood for Harry Eats Ass. It don't.
You know what? In some circles it might.
That could be
Yeah.
a happily ever after for sure. Like,
It might depend upon whose ass. But
I just so confidently put that out into the world. Now people know. Cool. So this is going to sound a lot like Max and I talking a whole lot, but I swear we're actually going to talk to you guys as well. But to begin with, we wanted Max to do a quick recap of the book. Scarlett, do you remember this book?
you've written like 12,000 books since then.
Yeah.
I just remember a lot of angst. So
There is a lot of angst. It's very good.
Well, the good news is I just finished rereading it, and I'm going to tell you all the stuff that happened. The broad strokes. I'm going to leave out a lot of the spice.
We're going to take a quick 1-second break. You guys know what the deal is. I'm going to stop recording for 1 second. Don't be scared. We're coming right back.
All right. The novel Mountains Made of Glass, a fairy tale retelling by the incomparable Scarlett St. Clair.
Incomparable.
Incomparable.
Truly. Try to comp her.
Well, what if it was the comparable?
Well, we do have a doppelganger. Your Halloween doppelganger is Scary St. Clair.
Yeah.
So
I think it's Scarlett St. Clair, according to the internet. She seems more famous.
Oh no.
Oh, that sounds like your burlesque version.
That's your ghost.
Yeah.
Aw.
Okay, so opening up this book, the first thing that happens is that there's a dedication page which says "for the fuck of it," and I was like, "Well, I love this book already."
Nicely done.
Incredible. Massive respect instantly. And then the second thing you see is a fantasy map drawn really nicely, and I was like, "Well, if I wasn't already on board, now I am." Immediately, so much. And it also comes with a glossary, which is really helpful, especially for people who are new to a lot of the folklore. It talks about a lot of the creatures that feature in this story, as well as establishing some context for like within the world of the story for like pixies and brownies and magic mirrors and other stuff like that. And then we have a very, very handy list of the 7 brothers and their 7 kingdoms. Casimir, the kingdom of Thorn. Lore, the kingdom of Nightshade. Silas, the kingdom of Havelock. Yarrow? Scarlett?
Arrow.
Arrow.
Just arrow.
Okay.
Wait, that's cute.
I love that. Okay. Arrow, the kingdom of Foxglove. Talon, the kingdom of Hellbore. Cardic, the kingdom of Larkspur. And Septus, the kingdom of Willowin. I will admit that the names of the prince are a huge factor in the story, and I thought I was so fucking smart because I was like, I'll figure out his name right now, and I flipped back and I was like, it would be really dumb actually to from the book. I'm really glad it wasn't that easy.
Oh, his name, because you have to guess his name.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited to hear everybody's guesses for what the name was.
I was nowhere. I thought the name that was it. Spoiler. I won't say what it is.
Yeah, we'll do guesses
get
later.
there, but
I'll do some pauses.
thought it was cool as fuck.
Oh,
his name's
so
cool
cool.
as fuck.
and an actually fun riddle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is going to be us jerking you off for the entire time. Are you ready for that?
Listen, I feel I have established that I am a riddle connoisseur in addition to being a literary / fiction connoisseur. And I will say that this is an incredible riddle. A lot of riddles are like, oh, like you have to like do a different thing, and it's like not actually what the riddle is. But no, this is like a good riddle that you can actually feasibly figure out, but it is tricky enough that it's fun.
Yeah. Good job.
I love it.
Good job.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun with it. I love doing that kind of shit. Anything that I can put a song in or like a fucking limerick, I'm like, yeah, like I'll do it. So
Hell yeah.
listen, you know about my limerick.
I love a good limerick.
Liz,
Fucking limerick.
like working with Scarlett. I don't know if I should say you or like you're a third person. Like working with Scarlett is. You said you're like you get a really intimate view of my insanity, and like. I really do. And it's so awesome. You to watch it like the other, like speaking of that, like when you were writing Apples and you're like, I just spent all day writing a song.
I love
That's
it.
such a cool job.
It's just like I was trying to write, but then I just ended up spending the whole day writing a limerick and a song.
I do love that you're there for it though. Like
It's so much fun.
It is really chaotic. Like this podcast.
That's what I said. Is this not what I told you to expect, though? It's like, this is...
Yeah, you did. Yeah, it's fine.
NPR, it ain't.
NPR probably wouldn't put me on their podcast.
You never know. You know, you've been on our podcast, which is just as
Fair.
professional as NPR.
Definitely on par.
It's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair.
All right. So, Max, take us through this retelling.
Absolutely. The story opens with the main character, Gisela, who is beautiful. She has long blonde hair. She lives in the enchanted woods, which are less enchanted and more terrifying and will kill you. So bad.
Enchanted, cursed.
Super cursed. The woods eat people.
Which, you know what? The woods do eat people. How many
is
people
true.
go missing in the woods?
And that's exactly what's happening. They're being eaten.
I should also say you guys shouldn't listen to the summary if you haven't read the book or if you anticipate reading the book, because I'm not going to avoid spoilers, because it would be, I guess, weird if I did.
That would be really weird
really hard.
if the four of us sat around trying not to spoil it.
You know that thing that happened?
I loved it.
Incredible. So Gisela lives in the Enchanted Woods outside of the town of Elk, and the town of Elk is noted for being cursed with curses. Everything is cursed all the time, and they are constantly having to fight against all kinds of curses, and some of them are ironic, and most of them are just kind of insurmountable, where it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Also, they felt, God, I feel bad about jumping in already. They felt like actual folktale and fairy tale curses. Like Max and I have covered now almost 250,
Yeah.
almost 300 of these fairy tales and folktales from around the world. And we've covered some of these curses.
Yeah.
Did you pull those from actual fairy tales, Scarlett?
Yeah, some of them. Some of them, God, I can't even remember. But also, I think once you've read so many fairy tales, it's so easy to just get there's a pattern to
Yes.
it, right? Like, so it's easy to pull your own things together as well. So I think the history of riding mountains really informed Apples too. It made that part, like, it made making those kinds of things up when they weren't my own very.
Yeah. You could tell. There is such a cool history. Okay. I'm going to try not to interrupt again, but I got really excited about the curses.
The curses are really good. I did want to mention one of the folktales that we've told on the podcast before is The Devil's Three Golden Hairs, which I think is like a French story.
The French story, yeah.
I saw that. I was like, Scarlett.
Oh, we
that was
noticed.
the whole like
Yeah. The
big
mountain.
inspiration for this book.
Yes. We were really excited
Yeah.
about that. We were like, oh, we know that story.
Yeah, the well going dry, and then the tree that stopped producing, and like someone had to,
The apples,
Yes.
the toad.
the toad. Yeah.
We called it the magical wine toad. Like that episode is called like the magical wine toad because it's like sitting there blocking their wine river.
No, when I read it, to me, like that was the perfect beginning to a story. I know we're not there yet, right?
Yeah.
In this like podcast, but it was like the perfect beginning to the story. I was like, that's the start of a book. Like that's the start of a story.
Yes.
and I just loved it.
Oh.
So
It's genuinely perfect. We were really excited.
So early on, we learn that Gisela lives alone in the forest in a hut, and that she does not like the people of the town of Elk because of how she's been treated.
They're
It's-
assholes.
Yeah, they're assholes.
They suck.
Well said.
You know, are you a writer, Lauren?
Absolutely. Can't you tell by my wit?
You're so witty.
Gisela's entire family is dead. Her mother, father, and sister are all dead, and everyone's an asshole to her because of that, in part, and also in part because it's revealed in short order that she is a very, very, very tiny amount elf, which is something that they have a problem with because they're
Racist.
assholes
And racist.
and racist. Yeah,
Racist assholes.
100%. In the long tradition of elves being super racist against people who aren't elves, which is very much a thing. So Gisela lives outside in the forest. She blames the forest for the death of her family. Even though the forest didn't directly kill them, she still thinks that the menacing force of the forest is to blame for the tragedies that have befallen her family, and are also connected to the curses that have destroyed the town of Elk and turned the people against each other and against her. Nobody remembers exactly why the town is cursed with curses. There are a couple of rumors that have gone around historically, but nobody's super clear on exactly why. What they do know is that the way that they deal with the curse is that the mayor or the sheriff picks someone in the town to go and confront the curse on everyone's behalf, knowing that whoever does that is super gonna die.
Or just have something genuinely devastating happen to them.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking, I bet it's fair, you'd be wrong.
Wrong. So Gisela is in the woods and she is gutting a goose with an axe.
Why are you reading that like you're like, wait, I can't be reading this right?
Yeah, I just tried to think through the
well, it's not
specifics of
quite
that too
right,
hard,
but that's okay.
it's like, yeah, I don't think
That's
that's
not
quite
quite
right.
For fun.
For the sake of of this, it can be right, but
Please genuinely correct me if I get it wrong. Because, yeah, I was like, I don't think that is right. Well, now that I'm saying it out loud. So, Gisela is in the woods with a goose that she's preparing to eat when a girl from town named Elsie comes to find her and tells her that the town has been beset by a curse where the town well has run dry and that Gisela has been forcibly volunteered to be the person to deal with the curse.
It's her turn.
It's her turn. And Gisela is a little bit surprised because Elsie is someone who might have been a friend at one point before all of the tragedy, but she's also not overly surprised because, again, she knows that she's sort of outcast from the village for a variety of reasons. As she's talking to Elsie, the sheriff, Roland, appears, and the two of them kind of herd her into a group of townspeople who continue to herd her to the well and make it very clear that she has no alternative but to deal with this problem on their behalf. So Sheriff Roland is a real creep. He demands sexual favors from women in order to not sacrifice them to curses and also a bunch of other stuff. He basically is just like, anyone who has sex with me doesn't get hurt. And then they do anyways.
Yeah,
and
he
he's
says
like,
that, but they still get hurt.
Super. He offers Gisela that she can either marry him or deal with the curse. And she's like, I would rather fucking die than marry you and presumably have sex with you. And he pushes her into the well. And she falls into the well and gets fucked up by having fallen into a well, as happens.
A dry well.
A dry well, yeah. Probably breaks her ribs and maybe some other stuff. And she turns around and sees that there's a toad there and regrets that she did not squish the toad on her way down. But now she has to murder this toad per orders delivered to her by Sheriff Roland from like a crone who lived in the woods. They were like, what do we have to do about this? And he was like, you have to kill the toad. Which if you kill the toad in the sense of like curses usually is like, oh yeah, you can do that. And then you will have killed a toad and you'll be bad. But if you don't do it, then you'll still be under the curse and it'll be bad. It's kind of like a no-win situation.
Yeah.
Which is clear to her from the beginning. So the toad jumps up onto a brick inside of the well and then turns around and looks at her and she goes to squish it and it jumps to a higher brick and then looks and waits. So it's almost like it's like trying to lead her up out of the well. And so she's able to crawl up out of the well, back out onto land, and then the toad goes to jump back into the well and the she's like, no, and she runs after it and she catches it and squishes it.
Okay. Here's how I thought the story was going to go. Can I just really quickly?
Yes.
I thought for sure she was going to be like, this toad is cool. And then the rest of the story is them walking through that like cursed forest, like with like a toad under her arm. like her, like Wirt. No, not like, what's his name?
Oh,
is it Wirt?
Greg and
Wirt. Yeah, from over the
Greg
garden
and
wall.
Wirt the toad. Wirt the frog.
Yeah, I thought
He
it was
names
going to
it
be
after his
like
brother.
over the garden wall, like she has this giant toad under her arm and she's like going on an adventure. But she squishes that toad so early.
You thought it was going to be her whimsical, like, fairy pet?
Yes.
Oh my
There
god.
are some.
And then they were going to fall in love.
But also,
I was also tricked.
she kept like the toad, every time it would try to jump in, she would have to lunge and grab it. And I've broken my ribs before, okay? Lunging at anything you can't do that. And so like every time she'd do it, I was like, ugh, ow, ugh, no, don't do it. And then she would like fall back again and the toad was an asshole. So by the time she squished him, I was on her side and then I felt guilty. I was like, this damn toad.
She said, fuck
It's
this
so
toad.
true to fairy tales, though. I feel like, because, like, to me, especially, I think when you read, like, Hans Christian Andersen, too, for example, like, he's so abrupt in how he
Yes.
delivers, like, the final blow or whatever. And I was like, so it has to be similar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I was like, I mean, it's even worse than apples dipped in gold. But yeah, and I feel like the pain, like, I think that a lot of the characters in those fairy tales, they go through pain that's like, I mean, impossible, right? And they're constantly put through it. So I was like, it's true to the story.
And
whatever.
I would have also lost my temper and squished that toad and then felt immensely guilty automatically. Oh no. Like she straight up throws up. She was like, oh. Me too.
I think I do feel like there's an element of like, if I opened the story with her being so willing to kill the toad and not try, like, because by the end of it, you are like, thank fuck that Toad is dead. Like, we can move on now. But you have empathy for her, right? Like,
Yeah.
so this is someone I can empathize with, even, you know, because she's very difficult in some ways. I think she's very like angry, and you kind of know why, but you kind of don't know why. So I think like that empathy is very important since we're in her perspective.
Yeah, I think that anger, it really does drive her. That's like her, especially
But
in the
that's what
beginning.
makes her so much fucking fun to read. Like,
Yes.
I love her. I love her.
Yeah.
I love her, and I love her and Cassie's interactions.
Cassie?
Cassie, yeah, he's Cassie.
Yeah, we call him
We
Cassie.
call him Cassie. Our sweet, stupid boy.
That changes the whole book for me. I'm not
He's
gonna
so
lie.
dumb.
He's so dumb. Our
He's
dumb
very
boy.
stupid, and I love him. He was my favorite character. And actually, he wasn't my favorite character. That's a bummer because I have a better favorite character.
Uh-oh.
We'll find it.
Is it Mirror?
No.
Is
Oh, I
Mirror
do
your
love
favorite
Mirror.
character?
No, okay, we'll talk about it. Next, go ahead.
Sorry. We'll never get through the summary.
I like the horny, spiteful fairy.
Oh my god. Janie, that is a character that you would love.
Yeah.
That checks out.
I think about her almost every day now. Go ahead.
So Gisela squishes this toad and then throws up, and then everyone else has left because maybe she's dead in the well, and she sort of like crawls back to her house and changes into dry clothes and just goes to bed, which same. I've experienced something terrible and now I have to go to bed.
I have to be asleep.
She wakes in the middle of the night. It's freezing cold in her house, and she wakes to people around her. 5 men, elves.
5 hot men.
5 hot men.
Max,
Very
I'm
important.
sorry. They're hot.
Do
They
you
all
want to tell the
basically
story?
look the same. Except for one, the weirdo.
I was gonna describe them, but sure, they're hot. Let the people have a little intrigue, Janie.
Lauren.
Oh, yeah, that was
Janie!
If there's anybody who's gonna jump in and be like, "Hey, by the way, hot? They're hot." It's gonna be.
That's true.
Sure.
Lauren did the illustrations of them, and they are hot.
They are, in fact, hot as shit.
You did a good job.
Thanks.
She wakes to find 5 men in her room. As she wakes up, she feels like a blade against her face, and then someone tasting her blood. And these elven princes, who are all varying levels of cruel based on their expression. Most of them have dark hair, and then one of them is blonde. They are all clustered around her bed, being 5 hot princes. And
Thank
she's
you.
in danger.
Thank you for respecting the novel.
Acknowledge their attractiveness.
They explain that the toad was their 6th brother, and that they have come to seek revenge on her for squishing their brother. And she's like, well, I didn't know that he was an elven prince. I thought he was a toad.
Mhm.
And they're like, well, that's a you problem.
They literally are like, that's a problem. They were like, who squishes a toad? And as a reader,
That's
who
fucked.
was on her side when she squished the toad, I was like, yeah.
Why would you do that?
God, I flipped so easy.
They explain that they have come to her for revenge, not because they particularly care that their brother is dead, but it's a question of honor. They can't let it go unavenged. As a punishment, they are going to send her to their 7th brother, the Beast, and she's going to have to be his prisoner for 6 years.
Punish me.
No.
Lauren's like, I'm ready. Take me.
Like I'm very happily married, but also like, where is my hot prince that's gonna kidnap me? Where's my hot elf prince that's just gonna steal me away?
The fact
into a
that
castle?
that is always something you're saying in my DMs, too. Just FYI.
And I want you to know that my
Every
husband
time
is
I have a new
perfect.
elven prince, she's like,
He's fine.
I would like him to fuck me. And
I'm like, oh, this one's hotter than the last one. I'm like, well, maybe this one's my favorite. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm always like, anytime I read a book about a woman that's kidnapped and taken into the forest by a hot man, I'm just like, you bitch.
It should have been me.
You don't have to pay bills. You know?
I have to disagree. I've known Lauren now for, 6 years?
Yeah.
No, anytime there's a book where a hot woman, full stop. That's a full stop for Lauren.
She has to be mean though.
Yeah,
Like,
a hot, mean woman. Lauren is like, I don't even care what happens in the rest of this book. 5 stars.
Oh, Gisela is a hot, mean
She's
woman.
a hot, mean woman.
You write lots of hot, mean women. That's why
I do.
Yeah.
It's feminine rage.
Yes.
I call it feminine rage fantasy. That's my cornerstone.
That's my genre.
And you do that shit so well.
I love
it.
that. Yeah.
Thank you.
So she's like, why would you do that? Don't do that. And they're like, but we're going to. And then they teleport her.
That was actually a quote from the book.
Yeah, and they go zip, zap, zoop, and she disappears.
You're a beautiful writer.
I wrote that word for word.
They teleport her to somewhere. As she's like reaching for the axe next to her bed to attack them, she grabs the axe and then finds herself on the floor in a castle, and there's a hot guy there.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
This poor thing.
I cannot. I've never heard anyone summarize my books in this way, and it is wild.
I really felt like I started typing in the email like, okay, so this is how our synopses usually go. And then I erased it because I was like, no, we sound crazy. She won't want to do this if I tell her.
No, but it's all true. That's very true. And there's so much irony to it because it's like not only are you like retelling a fairy tale, but you're also like really exaggerating romance tropes too, because you can in this world because it's all exaggerated. It's all ridiculous.
Oh, it's so fun. It also, oh god, it just like amps up. Like every single chapter, it just amps up like at least 2 more notches. It's so fun. Okay, I'm sorry, Max. Go ahead.
I never expected anything different from you.
No, usually I do the synopsis. I'm usually the one who synopsizes because Max is better at letting me talk.
Oh, sorry. I'm just going to read from my notes. Giselle is now in a castle with a hot boy.
Yeah, as long as that got covered.
Yeah. Just to be clear, he's hot. Just so
Lauren
everyone knows where we're at.
Satisfied.
He is dark and slender and pale with black eyes and long curved claws and an expression of stony indifference mixed with cruel amusement at this person who has just been teleported to him.
Would not be my reaction to somebody being teleported into my living room, but okay.
Yeah, you're not hot.
Well, I have to point out that there's a line in here where the thing she notices is like the outline of his cock, and I read that again, and I was like, I am embarrassed for me. I am embarrassed. Why did I write that? And
The people wanted to know.
The people wanted to know.
Because you know, first of all, because you know your audience.
Yeah, excuse me.
Okay, so this is just like, it's a reference to like, the Disney live action where the pants are so tight, and that's what I was imagining, and I was like, I have to say it.
Yeah.
Because they just try to ignore it, and it's right there.
Okay, but also, that part was also weirdly realistic to me, because she's like, where am I? Oh my god.
Penis.
Hello. Like, it's the first thing she notices, because it's literally
It's
in
the
her
first
face.
thing we notice. Like when we watch a TV show and it's there.
Yeah. Yes. It's like seeing somebody in one of those Party City Ninja Turtle tight outfit. Like they're like just wearing the tights and you're just seeing like full dick and balls. You're like, wow, this is a holiday for children.
I'm glad we all agree on it because these are elements that I think in like romance people kind of make fun of. But they have a role, like, right? It's a real reference to something that, like, we've all talked about before. And I just think it's fucking hilarious. And if you're paying attention, you see these things and it has even more meaning. So it's even more fun to read. That's what I love about the story.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite books that I've written.
Yes.
And, like, it's things like that you think are just, like, stupid and sort of, like why would the author do that? And I'm like, because it's real.
But also, because you get, and we'll get into this a little bit later, I'm sure, but this book progressively gets sillier. And I think that is something so beautiful to read because you start in one place and then, like I said, every chapter, it gets a little sillier. So I really do think that little things like that, like you just pepper them in like little by little until we meet the hot, horny little fairy. And then all hell breaks loose.
Incredible.
No one knows what that is yet unless they've read this, but that was the first scene that I saw for them. That was the first scene I wrote for them.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
That was a good one. I listened to that. That was the last thing I listened to on the audiobook today. The hot horn.
I always wonder what the narrators think. Like, are they going, fuck?
No, they got
Like,
into
what?
we love the narrators
Yeah,
too.
no,
We were
these
talking about it
narrators
the
are
other
getting
day.
a fucking
They're
shout out.
great.
Yeah.
They're great.
Sorry, Max.
Oh, you're good. I also did want to say, so this is based on physical description alone, not the kind of man that I am into.
Mhm.
However, her being like, and he's wearing really tight black pants and you can see his whole penis. I was like, wait a minute. Now I've seen Labyrinth and I was into that. So now I'm into this. I'm back in.
He's very pretty.
Oh my gosh.
He is.
Lauren's illustration of these. By the way, I'm putting pictures of these on the Instagram.
Yes.
Probably not all of them, but like a good portion of them, Lauren.
Look at those lips.
Yeah.
That was all you, Lauren.
I
Yeah.
did that.
All you.
That feels like so long ago now.
It was long ago.
I know.
God.
The day Scarlett started following me and I freaked out.
Oh yeah, she texted me.
I
She
texted
texted me
everyone.
a screenshot
I
of
was like,
it.
Scarlett St. Clair's following me on Instagram.
Yeah, okay, so we're probably gonna tell that story eventually.
Yeah.
How we met.
Yeah.
I'll put pause on that.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Sorry.
Shut up, Lauren.
I'm just a stream of consciousness girl, so. Sorry, guys.
You're good.
stop
You're doing great.
That's a hot boy.
Oh, yeah.
That's a hot boy.
I know.
It's a hot boy.
But he needed to be like hot and elfin at the same time.
I am very attracted to androgynous men,
Yeah.
and that's why they're all androgynous.
You're like, and I'm the one making this world, so
Yeah.
guess what?
Why did you point at me?
You either have to look like
Pointing at the
Jesus
screen.
or you have to be androgynous. And
Yeah.
I don't have anything in between.
Yeah. Either end.
Mhm.
None in the middle.
Yeah. There's
Yes.
nothing in the middle.
So she appears in this castle and meets a dick and then a man. And he's like, why are you here? And she's like, I'm not here on purpose. And he's like, well, you better kill me before I kill you. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm into this now.
She flipped so easy.
Listen. She grabs her axe and goes to hit him. He moves very quickly and gets behind her and grabs her by the throat. Her axe sprouts thorns, which makes sense to us because we read the list of princes at the beginning of the book and we know that he's the Prince of Thorns.
We did our homework.
We did our homework, gang. So her axe sprouts thorns and she has to drop it. He is behind her and she is so horny. And then he calls her a vicious thing and a vicious fae.
So good.
I really like the vicious thing.
Oh, vicious thing.
Vicious thing, vicious creature.
The whole time they don't use her name until the very end of the book.
And the beginning, like the first page.
Yeah, like the first page and like the last couple of pages are the only time you read her name, and the rest of the time people are like, you nasty thing. You little creature.
Convinced that, because oh my God, and I haven't read this in a little while. At one point, she tells him the letters of her name.
Yes.
Yeah. But I was like, oh, he just doesn't know her name. He was like, just nickname you up.
I didn't even notice that until she told him the letters of her name. I was like, oh, he doesn't know her name.
And that dick didn't even ask.
Didn't even ask.
It's very elven of him, though.
Priorities.
I will say.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, your name doesn't matter. Here's what I'm going to call you.
My name's a secret, though. Do you want to know?
Damn it. And yes.
He calls her a vicious fae, and she's like, don't call me that. I'm barely even a fae. And he's like, whatever, because he's a fae. So it's fine.
Your words are so beautiful, Scarlett.
They have a whole back and forth where he's like, oh, do you wish to know why you're here? And she's like, no, I don't, because like the language of a wish is very specific and magically binding, that kind of thing, which is a recurring thing that happens throughout the book. And great.
Yeah, and also that continuity of that is beautiful. You are kind of the queen of continuity.
Continuity queen.
You are a continuity
Continuity
queen,
queen.
Scarlett St. Clair.
Serving
God.
continuity.
Oh my god, serving continuity should be your Halloween costume.
Noted.
She is able to push him away, and she runs out. She finds herself somehow inside, but also outside. She's being caught by all of these thorny vines. Sorry, I wrote in my notes, she's so horny, parentheses, thorny, LOL.
Max, queen of the wordplay, right?
Scarlett, you can use that, but you'll have to pay Max royalties.
$1, please.
I appreciate the notice.
So she runs outside. All of her clothes get caught on the thorns, and now she's hot and naked. Not in a disparaging way, just in a factual way, which does happen when you run through the forest. And then these thorny vines wrap around her and like trip her, and then this dark elf prince appears, and he's like, "So my brother sent you here as a spy," and she's like, "I no, what? Your brothers did send me here, but I'm not a spy." And he's like, "Well, you seem like a distraction." I was like, "Great, great."
Yeah. He's like,
I'm just gonna keep doing a thumbs up every time I was like, "Yeah."
It's suspicious that somebody's here and that they're hot and naked. You don't think that's suspicious? And it's like, that's true.
That does seem pretty suspicious.
That is in fact suspicious. Are you a cop? You must tell me.
He tells her that she can either be his prisoner for 6 years, as she has been sentenced to by his brothers, or she can take a chance at freedom by guessing his name. She has 7 days to guess his true name. She can have as many guesses as she wants, but if she doesn't guess it by the end of the 7 days, then for each incorrect guess, she will have to be his prisoner for 6 years plus an additional year. So, math. I won't go into the math. You get the math.
Lauren and I are art teachers.
Yeah.
We don't get the math.
We don't do the math at all.
I mean, I have a degree in English and a master's in library science, so I don't do that.
Yeah.
But numbers are important in fairy tales.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true.
7 pops up a lot in this one. Is that like...
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
wasn't going to say it, but the fact that she was going to be his prisoner for 6 years, I was like, why would you do that? That's my one gripe about this book. It's like there's 7 brothers, 7 days, 7 letters, 6 years.
The sixth brother. The sixth brother.
That was
That's
it. There was a reason for it. I
Oh,
forgot
that makes
about
She
sense.
that.
killed the sixth brother.
That makes a lot of
now
sense, and I feel better now.
She's a prisoner for 6 years.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Continuity.
She should have killed the first brother.
Right? Wrong fucking brother. God damn it.
She's like, well, damn.
I swear it makes sense. Like in my brain, I'm like, no, it makes sense.
Continuity.
Six
You will
brothers.
not find a plot hole.
No, that makes a lot
I'm
of
sure
sense.
like
I was
a
wrong
lot
and
of
you were
people
right.
thought that though. Like you're not the only ones.
I think you explained that, though. Is that explained in the book a little bit?
Entirely possible. I read it today for the second time very fast.
No, I think to me it's like I think sometimes in my work you have to really pay attention. And one of the things that you would have had to pay attention to, it's not anyone's fault. They say like that's our 6th brother. We're going to sentence you to 6 years.
Yeah.
So you have to watch the numbers. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame anyone for not realizing it. It's a weird thing. Like, you know what I mean?
That does make sense.
It's really good to know. That's
Yeah.
really good to know.
It's a fun little rule.
Yeah.
You're like, I hate it less now.
I like it now. So he gives her this challenge that she can be free if she guesses his name. And she's not sure exactly what happens when she guesses his name. Is it going to free him? Is he going to be able to do some kind of magic shit? Is he evil? All she knows is that he's the 7th brother and that he's the beast. And she doesn't know what that means. And that's pretty scary. But this is her only real chance at freedom. So she agrees to help guess his name. He teleports her to the entrance of the castle. She's all muddy and he's like, "You're disgusting, go take a bath." And then he teleports her to a bath, which is in a cave. She tells him that she's not going to take a bath in front of him. And then he is like, "Well, then you're going to bathe in front of these angry little men." And she looks over and sees that there are a bunch of red caps on like edges of the bath, which are these nasty little elves who have bright red hats that are soaked red with blood.
Shout out to Lauren's best illustration she's
Oh
ever
my
done.
God.
And I have
What a
Lauren's
little
work.
guy.
I love them so much.
I have Lauren's work on my wall currently. I have been a fan of Lauren's work since I met her. But this is truly, you outdid yourself with the red caps.
That's
Absolutely.
They're so cute.
That's like my
When you sent me this, I was obsessed.
Yes. My biggest gripe with Lauren is that there's not more of them just sprinkled throughout. In Juno when the cross country team is like running past the screen like as the seasons pass, that's what I wanted in this book in the bottom of the
We
pages.
More
should
little
put the
red-
red caps in the bound edition.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
We
just
can
put
just
that on
put them
my
on
list.
random pages.
Every time the
I'll
chapter
just do a bunch
ends,
of little red caps.
they're just running past like a little cross country team.
I'm glad you like them. That was what I'm always very nervous about doing non-humanoid things. I feel like that's like not my forte. So that makes me really happy that you guys like them.
It's hard because the descriptions always vary. Like I had to choose sort of what I wanted from different sort of myths because they're different across. Like, do you remember the in apples, what are they?
The pixies.
They're
Little
like
pixies.
Yeah. They look very different.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and we had I was like, oh, we could go this way, we could go this way. Yeah, same thing with red caps.
I told the story of the Nain Rouge on the podcast before, and that's a very different kind of red cap.
Yes.
He's just a wretched little guy.
And did you know that Detroit is haunted by a little angry, gross guy?
Detroit's haunted by a lot of gross guys.
Well, there goes our big Detroit audience.
Oh, I'm
Thanks,
so sorry,
Lauren.
They know.
Get that out of there. Cut that out.
And she's like, well, I'm never going to bathe in front of you, so I guess I'll bathe in front of these angry little men. And he's like, okay, fine. And then he teleports away, and then the angry little men start attacking her with rocks. And she's like, okay, I guess it's fine. You can watch me take a bath. One of them breaks her nose with a rock.
Little dicks. Also, I do like that set up
They
that
are.
he wasn't being a creep. He was like, this is the only place to bathe here, and literally, if I'm not here, they'll pelt you with rocks. Like,
Oh, I still think he's a fucking creep.
Because also,
It's fine.
because later there's a bathtub. He has a bathtub put into
fuck,
her bedroom.
okay,
So
but she
it is because he's a creep.
No, you know what? I'm sorry. No. He's checking for a wire, okay? She could be a fucking cop. You're not gonna bring her in to the fucking bathroom? Bathe in a cave, you pig.
I think part of it is like he doesn't trust her not to run, and if she runs, she's in more trouble than if he like keeps an eye on her, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah, but I mean, yeah. Later, she gets in a lot of fucking trouble, so she proves him right.
Yeah.
Yep. If there is one thing that she does in this book.
Oh my god. I just realized we're gonna be here for
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop
Lock
interrupting.
it down, Janie.
I actually got tested for ADHD. I don't have it.
Well, I do, and so does Lauren.
Yeah,
so we're fucked, but whatever.
It was a huge surprise to everyone, including my doctor. He was like, wow.
He sees that she has a bunch of bruises and broken bones and shit from falling down a well. Remember how that happened, like, really recently? And he's like, did my brothers hurt you? And she's like, no, I actually was having a really bad day already before they even got there. She takes a bath. She holds her breath underwater for a little while. And he's like, if you can't die or I'll kill you.
Okay. Everyone underlines that quote, and I'm like, why do y'all like that quote so much? It's weird.
Well, you mean like the Pinterest pictures where they've like highlighted and annotated with like hearts around it?
Yeah. It's the most highlighted quote in this book, and I'm like, it's weird.
You're like, guys, I actually meant to write a lot of romantic things. That wasn't it.
Yeah. I was like, there's so many other cool things that y'all skipped, and that's the one that you underlined.
I actually underlined and highlighted and put hearts around the zip zap soup and then teleported into the
Did you?
That was
I'm
great.
glad you enjoyed that.
She holds her breath underwater, and he pulls her back up, and he says, "You do not get to leave this world of your own accord, and if you manage it, I will follow you in death and haunt you for all of eternity." And I'll be honest, that was pretty romantic to me.
As hell.
It's like, that's immediately
What the
book
fuck
over.
are
They're in love. He teleports her to her bedchamber, and he tells her that she should not ever leave at night under any circumstances because they are still in the enchanted forest, and that's fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
And he's like, but you can go anywhere you want during the day as long as you're within the, my area. You'll probably be safe. It cuts to his perspective, and he goes to his bedroom, and he talks to his very sassy mirror, which is 1/7 of a larger mirror, which his father had, and then when his father died, he split it into 7 pieces and gave 1 piece to each of the 7 brothers, and they can use it to spy on each other, and also the mirror is sassy and gives them advice.
I love Mirror.
Mirror's good.
The mirror is so
good.
mean. The mirror is my hot mean girl.
It's also, I think, the mirror is the only one. Well, no, not the only one, because later on Neve comes in. But the mirror has absolutely no fear of this guy.
Yeah.
He's like,
Not at
listen,
all.
I've seen you do some really embarrassing shit. So
It's funny you should mention that. The mirror is like, she has to fall in love with you and guess your true name in order for you not to lose your name within the week, etc. And he's like, well, you know what I'm going to do about it? And he jerks off at the mirror.
you guys should know we're looking at Scarlett.
No shame.
We're looking at Scarlett through a Zoom, and as you were about to talk to it, she just put up her own book in front of her face and just hid behind it. I feel like we accidentally invited you to your own personal hell. Like, this is how you get tortured.
Okay, so something you have to know about me is I have out-of-body experiences when I write this stuff, and then when I go back, I'm like, what the fuck were you thinking? Who are you? Who are you? But
Incredible.
It's fitting. It works. Because my thought is, like, I think fairy tales are some of the, like, they have such deep-rooted sexual, like, undertones.
They do.
And they would have been overtones, but they were taken out and, so I feel like I'm just bringing that to the surface in a more healthy way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Than what they did back then.
Listen, if you listen to a single episode of our podcast that covers literally any of the Grimm's Brothers stories, we've literally Wattpadded all of them. Our Rumpelstiltskin is basically a porn. Not with Rumpelstiltskin.
With the hot bake.
with the hot chef. Well, we made him a chef. He's not really a chef.
Is he not a
No,
chef?
he's just a guy.
Oh no.
So, like, we get it. We're your people, Scarlett.
At this point, it is revealed that the Elven Prince has been cursed by the Glass Mountains, so he will lose his name if nobody falls in love with him and guesses his name, because he made love to one of the mountains. Someone of the mountains.
Oh, I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, they go into more detail.
I don't remember him fucking a mountain.
Yeah, he didn't quite do that, but I think it's possible given how later.
He just sees 2 mountains and he's like, nice.
I wouldn't put it past him, though. That kind of is his personality.
That is so dumb.
Casimir gets more and more himbo
Name
energy
drop.
as you go. Oh, I'm so sorry, Max. Was that a
Shady.
spoiler? We said it at the beginning. They call him Cassie.
We call him Cassie.
Cassie.
Sweet little Cassie.
I'm so sorry.
He tells the mirror to show him what she is doing, and she's sleeping because she's had a really rough day.
She's had a really bad day.
He sees the bruises all over her, and he's like, whoever did this, I'm gonna fucking kill them.
Yeah.
And the mirror is like, no, don't. And he's like, no, I'm gonna.
No, don't. That would be terrible.
Gisela wakes up and she reaches for her nightstand, and instead of finding her trusty axe, she finds a bunch of slugs. And she wakes up and looks around and finds that fairies have broken into her bedroom in the middle of the night and decided to do pranks by putting a bunch of slugs next to her bed.
Got her.
Which is hilarious.
God, I love all the little fairy creatures. I love how spiteful, and they're just like terrible little children.
They're so rude.
They're so rude. That's what I like best about this entire world.
Yeah.
There's a consistency in that the fairies are dicks.
They're just Sour Patch Kids.
They are Sour Patch Kids.
They really are.
The elf prince appears with a little brownie named Neve, and it is her job to help Gisela, or as she will better become known, Vicious Creature, or Nasty Thing.
Yes. Vicious Thing. Vicious Thing. Oh, my creature.
So good.
Yeah, I love it.
Lady Thing.
Lady Thing.
Neve is charged with getting her ready for the day. She goes over to like a magical wardrobe and knocks on it, and a bunch of weird creatures that we don't ever see inside make her a dress. And that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. You're right, Max. Max made direct eye contact with me, like, right?
we also thought that was cool, Max.
So she gets a fancy new outfit from her magical wardrobe. The elf prince reminds her not to leave his kingdom, even though it is daytime. And he informs her that his name is Casimir, which we already knew because Janie spoiled it.
I really feel like this isn't on me. I will take a lot of blame, but I will not take this.
He says, "You will call me Casimir," and she says, "I prefer Beast."
Yeah.
And he is mad at her in a sexy way. And he says, "Call me Beast again, and I'll show you why I was given that name." And she's like, "Okay, Beast." And then they don't bone. Almost.
Beast. Literally, he's like, "I'll show you why they gave me that name." And I was like, oh, so it's a sex thing. Like, it's weird that your brothers are so comfortable with it. Like, okay.
It's like his brothers call him Daddy.
I'm writing a book right now where daddy is used in a joking way, and I'm here for it. I love it so much. FYI, as an aside.
I had a guy one time, a Tinder date one time, was like, "Call me daddy." He did it 3 times and I didn't respond. And on the 3rd time, I grabbed him by the tongue and I was like, "That's what I call my actual father. Do you want to talk about it?" And he was like, and he went, "No, ma'am." It was the most powerful I've ever felt.
No, ma'am.
I was like, good, then shut the fuck up and get on with it. Like, you're making me think all sorts of weird things.
I want to use that in a book now.
Do it. Oh my God.
Please
do. My life is yours.
I did call my daddy, like, and I refer to my dad as daddy, even like he's passed. But like, that's what I think of every time. I can't
every time.
I cannot do
and
it.
I do feel like our dad set us up for failure.
Yeah.
I don't think they did it on purpose, but like, come on.
Yeah, but my dad
I don't think it's their
called
fault.
his dad daddy too. So
My brother says daddy. I mean, that's just what we all said, and it's deeply uncool.
yeah.
How dare they?
Sorry.
Okay.
We did it again.
Oh my God!
All right, everyone turn off your mics.
We're in timeout.
They almost have sex, but they don't. And also, he reveals that he has powers, thorn powers, and also shadow powers, and magic powers, and tendril powers, little smoke powers,
He's got the coolest powers.
cloud powers.
He does.
Horny
Lauren and I
powers.
talk about the powers all the time. We just had a conversation about it the other day.
Yeah, because never mind. I don't want to say anything.
Oh.
I don't want to give away any proprietary
Spoilers.
information. Yeah.
You know in Sky High, the little plant girl?
What?
There's a plant girl in Sky High. That's him.
That is him.
I've never seen Sky High.
Okay, we're stopping. Okay, guys, pause the podcast. We'll quickly watch Sky High.
Let's just keep recording, and we'll just watch all of Sky High, and then we'll get back to the story.
Scarlett, you're good for the next.
At this point, we could actually do it. The amount of time we've been on it.
We could have watched Sky High twice.
All right, no, we couldn't have. I know exactly the runtime of Sky High, and it's not that.
She's not joking. Okay. Go ahead.
He has powers, they almost fuck, but then they don't. And then he's like, say my mortal name. And she's like, what will you give me? And he's like, what do you desire? And she's like, not penis, a number. Tell me how many letters are in your true name. And he tells her that his name has 7 letters in it.
7. Oh, good.
Yeah.
That
7.
just worked out perfectly,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, that wasn't on purpose. It just worked out.
That was the universe.
That's amazing.
I literally, my dumb ass flipped to the first page and I was like, ha ha ha, oh, Casimir. That's what he told her, actually. And then I was like, but it does have 7 letters.
What if that's the name she has to guess? Such a rude trick.
It's, you hide it in plain sight. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have fucked with you all, but I didn't.
Thank you. I fucked with myself trying to guess the name. It was embarrassing.
I don't believe anyone who says they guessed it. The men, all the women will tell me they didn't, and then the men are like, they did, and I'm like, I don't believe any of you.
No, we don't believe men on this podcast.
I was about to say, I just don't believe that, Harriet. Like,
yes, Scarlett, don't believe men.
They Googled. I'm like, you Googled. You just like Googled synonyms and you cheated.
No.
That's how you knew.
Because it was Max was right. It is guessable, except that it's a hard riddle. I liked it.
it was a very hard riddle.
Yeah.
With a very satisfying answer.
I think we all just got so used to easy riddles.
Yeah.
In books.
Yeah.
So like we were like, this should be easy.
Finally,
It's
we were
impossible.
challenged. Yeah.
Max, we won't do this anymore.
Promises, promises.
Empty promise.
And then he reminds her that she has to come when he calls.
Mm-hmm. Deal.
I need to get a spray bottle for Janie specifically.
Okay, but I love the sexual innuendo.
Yeah.
Really good. She goes out into his castle. She finds that his castle grounds are entirely a massive, beautiful garden, all covered in thorns. Very dangerous, but very sexy also. Reminiscent. She goes through the garden until she gets to a pond, and she sees a man in the pond, and he is very tan and erect, and she realizes that he is a Selkie. He sings a song, and it mesmerizes her, and she almost walks into the pond before she's able to regain control of herself, and then he appears behind her and attacks her.
Scarlett, just really quickly, I'm sorry, I know I said I wasn't going to interrupt, but I do think this is an important point. Scarlett, I think it was really brave of you to make his song Baby Got Back.
Wait, say that again?
I said I thought it was brave of you to make the song Baby Got Back. Not a lot of authors would have been brave enough. And I too was mesmerized. And I won't talk again, Max.
As soon as she comes to herself, she realizes that the Selkie is gone, and then he appears behind her and attacks her. But she sees that his sealskin is nearby, and she threatens to tear it with a sharp rock in order to stop her from doing that and to give his sealskin back so that he can once again be a seal boy. He promises to give her her greatest desire, and she's like, great. This is a trope in a lot of Selkie stories of like, oh, I'm going to take the... Oh, it's usually either like bartering for them to do something for you, or it's a man who falls in love with a woman who is a Selkie, and then he steals her sealskin so that she has to be with him forever and has no options
Like
and
an
can't see her
asshole.
family or friends ever again.
Like an asshole.
It's certainly a consent story. That's actually, we've talked about this with another friend. What made this work was that you made the Selkie a man, and there's not many. I've actually never read a Selkie story with a man as the Selkie, and so anything that happens to him, like he was able to be evil, because we had a friend who recently was like, I'm gonna have an evil Selkie story, and Max and I were like, don't fucking do it. We're not usually gatekeepers, but we're like, Selkies are victims. That's a but what made yours work, we actually referenced you when we were telling our friend about this. We were like, what makes it work is that you flipped it and made it a male Selkie, so it was more believable as a predator, and also you're not taking the victim stories, and you like, it was just a really well done. And also, I'm scared of seals. So I like an evil Selkie story.
I think that was sort of the thing, is I was like, why are all there's a theme throughout my books where it's like, why does this always happen to women? And so anytime I can approach that subject or flip it, I do. I think, in this situation, he was taken from his home, but he, in the same sense, like, he is just as predatory as, like, everything in the forest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he is no different from Cassie or his brothers or, the horny fairy that you love so much. So
My angry
yeah,
horny
so I appreciate that. I really do, because I do give those things a lot of thought.
Yeah. No, we loved it. We very specifically referenced that when somebody came to us for like Selkie expertise, and we shut them down immediately, and we're like, read the book.
So he promises her greatest desire if she gives his sealskin back. And then she gives the sealskin back, and she's like, okay, my greatest desire is to know what the prince's name is. And he's like, no, it's not. She's like, what? And she realizes that the phrasing of the promise that he has made is that he will give her greatest desire, which is a very specific thing. And also, he says he doesn't know the prince's name. The only force that might know the prince's name is something that would be older than him, and the only things older than him and the other elven princes are the earth and the glass mountains. So he's like, you could ask the mountains, and she's like, that's outside of where I'm allowed to go. I couldn't get there and back anytime soon. And he's like, well, then why don't you just fucking fly there? And she's like, well, I just fucking would if I could fucking fly, I guess. And he says that he will bring her wings tomorrow, provided that when she rules this place as queen, he sets her free from his curse. Mm-hmm. She returns back to the castle now with a plan of how to get the prince's name. Neve and the mirror, meanwhile, are in Casimir's room teasing him for being an idiot.
Wait, okay, there's one of the best lines that I just listened to this again today, and I like audibly like scream laugh when he was like, oh my god, what was it? He said like, love, I don't need love, or who needs love? And Neve is like, you idiot.
Yeah.
Like,
the amount of times she specifically calls him a fucking idiot is the funniest thing. Her in the mirror, they tag
team him so hard.
Because
it's so good.
At the end of the day, it's Beauty and the Beast, right? It's Mrs. Potts and Lumiere. If they were allowed to curse at him,
about that.
as if they were allowed to curse at him and be like, "We've seen your penis, stop bragging." Like they roast him so much, and every time you're just like, yay.
To be fair, that's a theme in a lot of my books. I mean, Hades and Persephone, for sure. Like, Kate and Hermes, and, so it's just something I love to do.
I loved Hermes in A Touch of Darkness.
Oh yeah,
Hermes.
He's iconic.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but I just listened to that today, and I was just like, oh my
god. Oh, no, cackling.
Hysterical.
Cackling at her, being like, what the fuck are you talking about? Did you forget why we're here?
I think what I love the most about it is, like, they do, like, rib him hardcore. Yeah. But also in this, like, lyrical, poetic way that I think is just, like, so fitting for a fairy tale. Like,
they do.
And it's meaningful, too. It's, like, they're telling you, like, how he has to win this. Like, how he has to break this curse. Mm-hmm. So it does a lot of things at once, and I just, like, I think
it's that's what makes the idiot line so much funnier, is that they are, like, this is what you gotta do. Like, you really gotta think about her. You have all this stuff, and they are being very much like fairy tales, and then she ends it with, you idiot. Damn, sometimes the deepest wounds are the simplest. You didn't put a lot of effort into that, Neve, and my feelings are hurt. It's so good.
So Neve and the mirror are being like, literally, have you tried? Have you tried them? And he's like, I just don't know what I'm supposed to do to make her fall in love with me. And they're like, literally, have you tried? So far, you've been super mean and unpleasant.
He's like, I'm sorry, I watched her bathe. What else do women want?
I only let a tiny guy hit her with a rock once.
One time. Ugh. Women do be difficult, though.
Women really do be difficult. It's so true. He says that he's going to go ask an expert about love as a concept. He goes down to the dungeon and he talks to a prince who's down there because he kidnapped him. Because this book is so fun. I had a great time. He's like, this stupid idiot prince was going to the mountains to get a golden apple so that he would be able to marry a princess or whatever. And then he came through my garden and like took one of my flowers. So obviously I imprisoned him.
Yeah.
For probably forever.
Yeah. He stole from me, and I'm the beast.
Yeah. Which is also directly from the Beauty and the Beast story of like, yeah, the idea that that's the price that's paid at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well done. So he goes down to talk to the prince that's in the dungeon, and he also reveals all the riddles that are associated with his name. Also at this time, he mentions that Arrow, the sixth brother who was killed, will eventually come back to life because anything Fae never really dies.
I love that. That was a really fucking cool line in the book.
I love the way how all their stories are interconnected. And I like how you always, going back and like knowing now what I know now and like rereading the books, like the little seeds that you planted for like the next brothers and like the other stories coming up. I'm always just like, oh, wow. I think it's cool that they're all intertwined.
I would love to tell you that like I'm a mastermind and I have like a board like with strings, and I don't. I just go, thank fuck that worked out. I never kind of know. Like I never know. But I think the prince is one of my favorite characters because he is intentionally an archetype of the prince character in all fairy tales, and it was so fun to make him just kind of shallow and like silly, and he's one of my favorites.
He's great. He really is. He's also lovable. You can't help but like him.
I think you have to like him because he gives such bad advice, and then we get to watch Cassie like take the fall for it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, but he's sincere in his advice, though.
Yeah,
I think that's what makes it.
But that's the thing is, like, in fairy tales, there's this. It never makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like the people who fall in love, it's because they are like rescued or whatever. And I'm like, because he doesn't know any better.
Yeah, literally, no, they're all virgins. I think that's also in all the fairy tales. Yeah. None of them have ever fucked before. They've never seen a woman, and you're like, and you're meant to be my guiding arrow. Yeah. I don't think so. Touch a boob and come back.
Come back and talk to me after you've seen some titty.
To be fair, that's how I end all my conversations.
Anyways, thank you so much for your help with this. Whenever you can get back to me is great, but we do want to move forward with this project by next week. Go touch a titty. This prince is also described as wearing purple, and immediately I was like, oh, that's Yaskier. That's my baby boy. So I just finished rewatching the Witcher TV show, and I was like, that's my
I don't even know why I picked purple, but I thought it was so ridiculous for him to wear it. Like, it's ridiculous. The feather is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. It was a thing.
Blonde curls and big feather on his hat, wearing purple.
Yeah, it's like...
And in love.
But it pops up in apples.
It does. But I love the, in the, like, illustration, like, the guide, the reference guide for illustrations, you said he had a stupidly long feather on his I don't think you put that in the book, but that's what you put in the reference for drawings, and I was just like, I mean, his stupidly long feather.
You idiot. Go touch your boob.
It works, though.
It does. No, I knew exactly.
Yeah.
The prince is like, okay, well, what have you done to woo her? And he's like, I don't know. I didn't kill her yet. And he's like, well, have you told her that she's pretty? And he's like, I guess not. And he's like, well, tell her that she's pretty.
Try it.
At this point, Cass also reflects on the riddle of his name. At some point in this, my notes are not good. But at some point in this, he reflects and he just says, his name is 7 letters. Your name knows no stranger. Your name is the wail on the lips of a birthing mother. Your name is the howl from the mouth of a grieving lover. It is the cry that breaks the night when death is summoned.
And my confident ass went, ah!
That's so good, though.
I wrote it out. I was like, somehow his name is all vowel.
His name's
There's a G in there for some
I
reason.
don't know if you guys know much about like my writing history, but in college I took a lot of poetry classes because I felt like that's where I was weakest, and I was like, oh, it'd be great to take like, and so that's where that stuff comes from.
It was really good. Just the confidence, the full chest. Ah!
Yeah.
It wasn't that, guys.
Yeah, the poetry background definitely shows.
Yes.
It's really good.
Yeah. That's why you like a good limerick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the prince tells Casimir to tell the captive, the nasty little lady, that she's pretty. And Cass is like, okay, well, this better work or else I'm going to cut off all your stupid hair. Our main character, Lady Thing, is back in her room. She asks the wardrobe for dry clothes because she got dunked in the water while the Selkie was attacking her. And the wardrobe is like, tee hee hee, and gives her like a little like see-through robe. And she's like, this isn't clothes.
Also,
I'm so cold, I have pneumonia.
who made this? You just had this on hand? Cellophane dress?
I don't know why, but visually I was like, oh, it's stunning.
No, it
Like,
is
in my
stunning.
brain.
It is stunning visually because you also described it really well. But like, genuinely, when you stop and you step back and now you're in this moment, all I'm imagining right in this moment is saran wrap.
I'm picturing wet toilet paper.
They paper mache'd her.
I was
They
picturing like a
are
super
jerks.
sexy gown. But
It is the elves in the closet are a reference to the shoemaker elves, so that's the concept.
So good.
it's weird that we haven't done that one on the podcast yet. We have to put that on the list.
There you go. Next idea.
Hey. Watch Max and I duke it out to do the elves. It's one of those things like Red Riding Hood where we can't really do Red Riding Hood on the podcast because there's no like hidden, like everybody's heard that story. And usually we're like, you've heard the story, but like actually Cinderella is much darker and there's many versions.
Mhm.
But with Red Riding Hood, it's the same version everyone's heard. There's no nuance. And I don't know about Elves and the Shoemaker. That would be an interesting one because I'm almost positive it has to be short, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Maybe.
Okay.
Who's to say?
Noted.
So she's like, this isn't clothes. And the wardrobe is like, I don't give a fuck. Does not respond. And Casimir summons her to dinner. And she's like, well, I'm not going to dinner wearing nothing, basically. So she ignores him. She's too tired and cold and wet. And so she takes a nap. Also relatable.
She really does handle all her problems the same way.
And I
does.
respect the shit out of it. A good nap really does fix everything. And one of the servants comes and is like, no, you have to come. And she's like, I'm not going to. And then she takes more of a nap. And then Casimir arrives and he's hot. Reminder.
Hot.
And he's like, you have to come to dinner. Like, one of the rules is that you have to come when I call you. And she's like, okay, but I don't have any clothes. And he's like, well, what are you wearing right now? And she's like, nothing. I'm wearing a stupid little robe. And he's like, well, obviously you can't wear that to dinner, you dumbass. And he goes and yells at the wardrobe and they give her a real people clothes.
Yeah.
And she gets dressed and then they go and eat dinner. Hornily.
Yeah. They got a
Horny.
horny little dinner.
A little horny supper.
A note here about this fucking grape. She bites into a grape, and in my brain, that was sexy. And then later, I was like, grapes are. You don't bite into grapes, you just eat them.
She takes
it's
a littlest.
it's hot.
Maybe fairy grapes are giant. You
To
don't
be
know.
fair,
Yeah.
I pictured them as like giant grapes, like the globe grapes, you know?
Yeah.
They're fucking huge.
And if you can bite into a grape, it means it's crispy. I
Yeah.
got what you were going for
Oh, yeah.
that. Because you know, like trying to bite into a grape that's not crispy and it just like is gross. No,
Yeah.
it's a good grape.
I hate that.
I did get really.
But a reader was like in one of my comment section was like, oh, you know, ha ha ha, grapes can be eaten whole. And I was like, you know, fuck off. It's sick.
You just type back like, "Oh, you got me."
I know.
Okay, person who doesn't eat grapes sexy like.
Yeah, right? Guess you're not sexy.
I mean-
Jeez.
Tell me you've never looked sexy eating a grape without telling me you've never looked sexy.
Listen, it just in my head, I was like, oh, she's gonna be like, You know?
Yeah. Okay.
I've never done that in my life, but I thought she would.
Except this was the part I got mad at the book, because I was like, I'm sorry, she hungry. And then she eats like half a grape quarterly. I was like, you give her my food.
Give her a goddamn sandwich, please.
Gisela never got to eat her goose in the beginning. Now she's eating half a goddamn grape.
That's fair.
But I'll never eat a grape the same way, so thank you.
Joke's on you. I've been eating grape
You're
sexy the
welcome.
whole time. So.
It's actually a really big problem in our household, how sexy Max is when she
Yeah, I
eats
have to close
grapes.
myself in the closet every time I eat a grape, because otherwise everyone gets too bothered.
Yeah.
He asks her if she has guessed his name, and she's like, no, I have only gotten the thing that you told me earlier, which is that your name has 7 letters in it. And he's like, oh, so the Selkie didn't help? And she's like, oh, so you weren't watching me? Cool. And she asks if the Selkie is a prisoner as well, and he says, not necessarily exactly a prisoner, but I guess kind of. He can't leave. And he asks if she's going to visit him again. She's like, yeah, tomorrow I'm going to go visit him again. And he's like, great, good, I hope you do. Phenomenal. Fantastic.
Yeah, he's really cool about it.
Yeah, he's really, really cool about it. And then he's like, anyways, you look beautiful.
Max just gave the most aggressive look.
And then he jukes at her. Hey, idiot.
Oh, it's one of
You
my
look
favorite
really nice.
scenes.
Yeah, I agree. This one is so good.
Yeah.
He's like, you look beautiful. And she's like, what the fuck? And he's like, I said you look beautiful. Are you deaf?
Are you deaf or just stupid, you beautiful idiot?
And she says, why are you angry at me about it? And he's like, I'm not angry. I'm just telling you you're beautiful and you should say thank you. And she's like, okay, counterpoint, fuck you. And she throws her wine all over him and he's like, okay, good, great.
I'm somebody who jumps into a lot of red flags, and this would work on me.
I've had this conversation
Yeah.
and then had sex after.
Yeah, 100%. I've had people give the bare minimum, get mad at me, and then I've had sex with them. So, that'll work.
Yeah.
Gisela better than me.
Gisela's standing on business. She
She-
will not be wooed.
And then he's like, I'm not even mad that my brother's dead. I don't even like him. So
And she's like, what?
I'm trying to get through this so fast.
Am I helping?
No.
Are any of us helping? No.
After they eat and she throws wine all over him and they yell at each other about how much they don't like each other and then they think about fucking each other a lot, he takes her to a fairy ball and she starts dancing with all of the fairies and she can't stop. You know how it happens in a fairy circle.
Yes.
A huge thing.
This is a huge thing in fairy stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was the one that we told, the Irish story where it was like she dances until she...
There's an Icelandic story of the little people where an old woman dances with the fairies until her feet fall off. And she's like surrounded by pillars of salt. And
There's
actually,
several of these.
my grandmother has several little people stories from the Philippines that are exactly the same way. And they're told first person because my grandmother fully believed it.
She's forced to dance all night in the fairy ring until finally she like falls into Casimir's arms and she's like, great, now we can have sex. And then she passes out and then she wakes up in the morning wearing her dress. And
I've been there.
yeah.
Who amongst us have not?
Listen. And her feet are super, super sore. Also relatable. And she's like, okay, well, now it's going to be really hard for me to walk out to meet the Selkie to figure out what he meant by, like, he's going to give me wings today. And then she's like, God damn it, he planned that. Motherfucker. And that made me laugh.
Yeah.
So even though her feet hurt so, so bad, she's really brave about it. And she goes out to, she's really brave to go see the Selkie. And he's like, oh, did you get caught in a fairy ring? And she's like, yes. And I'm really tired, so what the fuck are we doing? And he explains that he has contracted the help of someone who owes him a favor to help her get to the place. He also explains why he's cursed. He says that he lured a fairy queen to the seaside with his wiles. And then she caught feelings and pined herself to death. And then the fairy stole his sealskin so he could never be a seal again. And then he went to a witch, and the witch told him to plant a thorn. And then he planted the thorn, and then a sealskin sprouted out of the ground where the thorn was. And he was like, hooray, now I can be a seal again. But if you'll remember who's the Prince of Thorns, Casimir appears and is like, well, actually, that's my sealskin. And now he's stuck here.
I made all that up, but it sounds like it could be a real fairy tale.
It does. It does.
It absolutely does.
Yeah, no, it goes along really well with when you actually do read folklore and you're not just like picking and choosing as you go, then you are able to not properly, but like believably write these tropes in, and it flow really well. Yes. That's something you've always done well, though.
Hop off, dude.
And now a compliment for me, Scarlett.
And then a bird appears in the sky, and the Selkie explains that this is Wolf, the raven. And she's like, what the fuck kind of name is Wolf for a raven? And he's like, what the fuck kind of name is Thing for a human? And she's like, my name's not Thing.
This exchange
that was another
made
really
me laugh
great line.
so hard.
That killed me.
Because it's spoken in fairy tale riddles,
Yeah.
but it's so fucking funny as well.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's like Alice in Wonderland, like the why is a raven like a writing desk? Like it just goes in circles, and she's like, what the fuck? No.
She drinks from the Selkie pond and becomes very small, and then she's able to ride on Wolf the Raven, who is a raven and not a wolf, except that secretly later we find out that he is a wolf. Spoilers. Wolf the Raven flies her to the Glass Mountains, and it tells her to knock on the mountains and ask for whatever she needs. She asks for the true name of the Prince of Thorns, and the mountains ask, what will you give me in exchange? And she says, literally whatever. And they say, bring me 3 hairs from the head of the Prince of Thorns. And she's like, okay, cool, done. And then she flies back, she drinks the water, she gets big again. Also, it heals her feet from the dancing, which is really nice. And I wish I had that water when I was in college.
Water, yeah.
I need it.
Yeah.
She drinks the water, she gets big again, and then she throws up, and then the Selkie's like, the fairies are going to be really mad at you for throwing up in their pond. And she's like, well, I had to throw up. And he's like, well, that's not their problem.
All the
You're in
fairies are
trouble.
like, ew. Who threw up this half a grape?
Undigested half of a grape.
She makes this sound when she's annoyed with me.
No, I'm just trying to put my brain back on. That's me forcibly downshifting to like reading something. She goes back home. She catches Casimir sniffing her robe in her bedroom. And she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, what are you doing? Dumbass. And he's like, oh, so did you bargain with the Selkie? And she's like, what if I did? He's like, no, did you though? And she's like, no, I didn't. And then they make out, and he has a huge boner.
Yeah.
And she's like, if you tell me a letter from your name, I will relieve you of this misery. Boner.
Misery boner band name.
Oh. Band name. And he gives her the letter, you. And she's like, me? And he's like, no, you. Which made me laugh way harder than it should. And it's exactly my sense of humor. And then she gives him a BJ.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Max had to do this recap because when I talk about sex, like when I talk about like sex scenes, I turn into a puddle on the floor. Like I wouldn't have been able to say give him a BJ. Seriously.
I mean, he's over 30 and
I wrote them and I'm dying. So
I would be doing so much worse, except I know that this is going to be released publicly where my mom can listen to it.
And her mom does listen.
And she does listen.
Yeah, she's
so.
very sweet.
Anyways, she gives him a BJ, whatever that is. And it's great, and everyone has a good time. And then afterwards, she's like, anytime that you want to have an orgasm sexually, from me, you have to give me a letter. And he's like, okay, great. And then he leaves. After he leaves, she reveals that the whole thing was a ruse to get his hairs. And now she has his
That
hairs.
girl's a smart.
She is smart.
Yeah.
This was smart.
Smart.
Yeah.
I liked this.
I forgot that he had black hair, and it was like, she took 3 long black hairs from her hand, and I was like, are they pubes? It's gross if they're pubes. And then I remembered. But there was a second, though.
You know, hair grows in more places than just Max.
Yeah, but she was just giving a BJ, and that's the problem.
She just picked
And I
something out
didn't
of her
think
teeth.
about it, but whatever,
one
it's fine.
I feel like the Glass
I'm
Mountain
so
would have still
embarrassed.
accepted them. They might have like taken them and then been like, ugh. But like they would have taken them.
A hair is a hair is a hair.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story.
I mean, to be fair, the mountains didn't specify, and that's the danger of everything in a fairy world.
Yeah. No, you can't walk anywhere without like stepping on something that somebody's going to be offended by.
I would like to propose.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Janie, will you marry me? I would like to propose. So it's revealed, literally the next thing that happens is that she goes to the mountains and they're like, these 3 hairs aren't all from him. 2 of them are from someone else.
Mm.
Based on the absolute semantics of fairy tale logic, what if she took that 1 hair and cut it into 3 hairs? Scarlett, what do you think would happen?
It's too late. She already shoved it in. She already gave
That's
it to
true.
the mountain.
That's such a Max way to do anything. Max doesn't like being told what to do. If somebody gave her an objective, she would find a way to be like, you're getting 1 hair cut into 3 parts and you better say thank you.
And you'll be happy about it.
Yeah. And by the way, the 1 hair is a really long pube.
Here you go.
Go fuck yourself.
So she has the 3 hairs. She asks the wardrobe for a little pouch to keep the little hairs in, which I thought was very smart and kind of cute. I love the idea of the little hair pouch. I don't know why that
You
tickled me so
like
bad.
that?
I thought it was funny.
You know, I've given you a lot of gifts in our friendship.
Give her,
I just love a
3 of the strands
container.
of your hair. That is true.
Yeah.
I do know that about Max.
Yeah.
Max loves a little container.
I just fucking love a container. I don't know what to say, man. She goes to the Selkie pond and tells the Selkie to call Wolf. And the Selkie is like, oh, so you found the 3 hairs. And she's like, I didn't fucking tell you about the 3 hairs. And then he attacks her.
I hated this scene. Very scary.
Very scary.
I don't like seals.
He attacks her, tries to drown her, rips open her clothes, and finds the pouch. And then she calls for Wolf the Raven and Casimir. And Wolf the Raven appears and scratches the fuck out of the Selkie's face.
Mm-hmm.
And she takes the opportunity. She grabs the pouch from him, waves it into the water, becomes very, very small, and also heals from all of the injuries. And then the Raven picks her up and flies her to the mountains. And she's like, why did you save me? And he's like, because you're going to rule this land and then you will let me be a wolf again. And I was like,
God,
he is a wolf.
Wolf is the fucking best from minute 1.
He's a good
Yeah.
boy.
He's a good boy.
Yeah.
She brings the hairs to the mountains, and a hole opens up in the mountains, and the mountains say, feed me, Seymour. And then she drops the hairs in.
Did you have to pay royalties for that, Scarlett?
I should have. I'm probably going to get in trouble.
Hopefully
so
nobody
I should check
tells.
on that.
She drops in the 3 hairs, and then the mountains get very angry, and they're like, you think you can fool me? Only one of these is from his head. And she's like, yeah, the rest are from his dick. That doesn't happen, to be clear. And the mountains are like, you would dare to try and fool us? Only your flesh will suffice as payment. And then a hole opens up and eats her finger.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was rough.
Yeah. And then everything is quiet. And then she goes over to Wolf and she's like, can we go home? Which is fair. They fly back, and as they fly towards the pond, she sees that Casimir is standing next to the pond, and he is surrounded by smoke and like tendrils of thorns and vines and just like a dark cloud. And he's holding in one hand the Selkie's head and in the other hand his sealskin. And she's like, oh no, I'm in trouble.
This was the first time that he was truly super hot for me, though.
This is the hot type.
He's hot. This is the hottest thing you can do, though. This is hot as shit.
What, kill somebody for you? I agree.
Specifically, just holding a head like,
yeah,
hi.
menacingly, like I did this.
Was this guy bothering you?
The thing I love about it is I actually think people probably really like the Selkie in the first chapter. He was introduced.
Yes.
And then he just dies. And it's brutal and awful. And that's the end.
You also get the feeling that he's lying. He's not truthful. Like, you can't trust him. So when he's like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, a woman fell in love with me because I was doing what Selkies do, and then I was punished, and it's not my fault. And he's like playing the victim. But how many and specifically, he has a very big like sexual assaulter vibe, right? Like, he seems like a date rapist, and so just like imagining Brock Turner getting his head ripped off is really satisfying.
Really good. And
I
also
really
all of his
like
skin.
I like the idea of a hot man holding Brock Turner's head in one hand and his skin in the other.
That's my dream sexual fantasy right there. That's
Honestly.
Somebody write that book.
Wattpad where?
I did, Lauren.
Yeah. No, I mean actually Brock Turner's head. Not a cute metaphor.
Yeah.
That's fair.
She lands and is having a very bad day, and she collapses onto him crying and is like, I've had a very bad day.
I'm so sad.
And then he's like, well, why were you being an idiot? And she's like, what do you mean? I was trying to do the thing, the name, the whole purpose of the thing. And he's like, well, you should have been less fucking dumb about it. She slaps him, and then he's like, well, the mountain doesn't even know my name, so I could have saved you a fucking finger.
Oh.
And then he sucks on her finger until her finger comes back.
Yeah. That's the sound I imagine it making.
I also liked that part.
Yeah, that was a good part.
That is
That
a
was not
sound
good for
that
me.
I have sometimes described when things are being sucked. So
Yeah.
And then he tells her that the mountains have her blood now, and when they call to her, she must not respond. When Casimir goes back inside, Neve throws a bunch of things at him because he's being an idiot, and what a fucking asshole, and what a stupid idiot. And then he says something very hard, that if a man said to me, I would forgive him for everything, except that I know better now because of this book. Thank you, Scarlett. He says to Neve, do you imagine this is somehow easy when I have had no love in my life? Do you imagine I understand kindness when none has been given to me? Do you imagine it is easy to be anything other than what I am?
Oh, Max felt it.
I try, every time I feel myself feeling this feeling, I am like, stop, assess, use your brain. But I'm like, but I could fix it.
All he needs is the love of a good woman.
He just needs some forehead kisses and a snack.
the problem is that like Giselle is not trying to fix him. They're both equally kind of terrible, and the end.
Yeah, but it makes it really fun to read.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Every time they interact, I'm just like,
I loved it. Like when I tell you I had the funnest time writing this book, it was so fun. I love it. It's the best time I've ever had.
You can tell because
writing.
it's fun to read.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and go really fast.
Good luck.
Casimir goes to the prince, and the prince tells him that he needs to save her from danger, and Casimir's like, well, I just saved her from a Selkie, and the prince is like, well, but did she see it? And Casimir's like, I guess not. And he's like, well, there's your fucking problem. And then he cuts off all of his hair with his magic.
Because he said he would.
Because he said he would.
And he keeps good on his promises.
Gisela, meanwhile, finds a hot bath in her room, so he was being a creep. And
again, I'm sorry, but he had to make sure she wasn't wearing a wire. Not on him.
Because it's different water in the tub. Neve comes to help her take a bath, and she says, I'm sorry, I'm just going to read this out because I also loved this. This was a couple of places where I was like, good. Mm-hmm. Our prince is an idiot. He is an idiot and he is not a good person. He has very few positive traits, save that he is handsome, but so are all elven princes, and he will likely never understand your needs because he has never had to think of anyone but himself. But that does not mean he will not try.
Aww.
And Giselle's like, why are you telling me this? And she's like, I'm trying to help you fall in love with him. And Giselle's like, ew, I'm not going to do that. And then she's like, okay, but you have to because here's the curse. And she tells her all the details.
Listen, most of this podcast is me and Max talking about how much simpler it would be if people just fucking told people why they were asking them to do stuff. And very few fairy tales have like consequences for doing that. It's just the people in the fairy tales don't do it. And it was so satisfying when Neve was like, I'm not under the curse. Okay, here's the deal. Just like he lays it out. I put the book down to like text everyone I knew. Like I was like doing victory laps. This is fucking Edward and New Moon leaving Bella in the woods like, no, you couldn't possibly, and not telling her why. Like, what do you mean? Oh, so good.
That was the start of like communication issues. Like I don't think communication is a trope. Like I do like sort of like reject that concept because I think communication is very hard and people have to learn it if they've been in a household where, you know, you're discouraged from speaking up. So I don't shy away from those topics. Obviously, A Touch of Darkness is like huge on the communication thing. But yeah, it is kind of fun to like, I mean, when I wrote King of Battle and Blood, Isolde is very direct. There's no communication issues. And I was like, how the fuck do I deal with it? Like, how do I bring tension into this book without communication issues? But yeah, it's a nice thing.
Yeah, I loved it. I was just, it's my favorite thing. My favorite thing ever.
Hop off.
Where's my compliment, Scarlett?
Neve tells her all about the curse, and she's like, if he loses his name and fades from existence because you didn't guess his name or fall in love with him, then you will never be free. Mm-hmm. And then Gisela finds herself with she's all that syndrome, where she's like, did he ever even like me, or was he just trying to get out of the curse? Like in She's All That.
You know,
I love that
the curse. The movie's great. Yeah. Paul Walker, R.I.P. in that movie. He's also in Fast and Furious.
Oh my god. I see how many times JD references Fast and Furious.
At least once per episode.
Yeah.
This was my once.
Yeah, you also took my Sky High reference.
Because my editor is obsessed with Fast and Furious.
Can you give me her number? Because no one will talk to me about it.
She would.
All right. I need to
Can you please put them in touch so we don't have to hear her talk about it anymore?
I won't go into it, but it's a great franchise.
I don't believe you. I think you are going to go into it.
You can keep going. Okay. I'm in dangerous territory.
Gisela hears bells outside and is hypnotized into going into the garden. She hears a familiar voice behind her, and it's her parents, the dead ones, and also her sister, the dead one. And her mom says, look at my face, and you shall know that everything will be okay. And she's like, no, I know this is a trick. And then her baby sister, who is dead, starts calling for her, and she turns around. She sees her baby sister with an arrow through her as just like a rotting corpse. Also, I don't think I said it earlier, but the reason why her little sister Winter is dead is because Gisela accidentally wished that would happen. Mm-hmm. I'll talk about it more later. We'll get to it later. Gisela runs away. She goes into the forest and trips, and then her blood gets all over a leaf, and then the leaf opens up and it turns gold, and a tiny gold fairy yawns and stretches and says, fuck you, and throws dust all over her.
My girl!
Casimir runs up behind her and is like, close your eyes immediately. And she's like, what? And he's like, close your eyes. And she closes her eyes, and then she hears him fighting a tiny little lady. And then and then she opens her eyes again, and she sees him fully about to eat a tiny golden fairy, it sounds like. And in the process, unfortunately, she makes eye contact with him, and then they have to fuck.
Actually, this was the part where I respected him the most. Like, because he was like, close your eyes, don't look at me. And he was trying really hard to keep this from happening, because he's like, this is dubious consent and I'm not into this. And I was like, oh, go, that's great. Go you. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a really cool way of handling that.
I don't like DevCon at all. So
agreed.
That's kind of why I try to avoid it whenever possible.
Yeah, he really puts up a fight. He's like, I'm the one who understands the magic here. So, like, it's on me if this happens and you are not into it because you're at a disadvantage in very many ways. It's cool. I liked that.
So they get fuck dust blown in their face. And she's like, we have to have sex right now. And he's like, no, we don't. We really don't. And you need to chill out immediately. And we both need to chill out. And you need to stand over there.
Because he's so horny, he's gonna die.
And then the fairy has a little monologue over to herself, this little golden fairy who's just been like swatted out of the air. She's like, ha ha ha. It wouldn't have worked if you guys didn't want to fuck each other already. And it was good. The consent is established.
I love her.
She's great.
Like, here's revenge. You're both so horny. Oh, wait, you already were.
I love this.
And then they have so much sex.
Yeah, they do. But he tries really hard not to. He's literally holding her, like, holding her with her back against him because she's like, fuck me. And he's like, stop fucking moving. Stop it. Stop it. We're not doing this. And she's like, but what if we did? Hilarious.
And then they have sex all night long.
Yeah.
And then they take a nap. And then they wake up and it's weird now. We've all been there.
We've all been there.
And she's like, ooh, okay, I don't really know what our relationship is right now. And he's like, okay, so we have to go home. We should take a bath? And then they go to a pond and they take a bath together. Yeah. And he's like, the bath is safe in this pond, I promise. And she's like, wow, a promise from okay. Seems significant.
Why didn't you take me to the safe bath when I first got here? Interesting. So there is, in fact, a safe bath.
And then he explains the nature of his curse. He explains that he slept with the daughter of the mountains and she caught feelings and he didn't. And then the mountains cursed him because that's her dad, whoever it was that he had sex with.
Oh.
And the mountains cursed him that he would lose his name after 9 years and a month. I don't remember the numbers. And that his name could only be revealed by someone who loved him. Mm-hmm. And she's like, okay, well, I still hate you. And he's like, okay, whatever.
It's fine. I don't even fucking care. It's not like the stakes are through the roof for me.
And then he's like, hang on a second. And then he brings her an apple.
Oh.
And she's like, wow, thank you. And he's like, I. And she's like, you what? And he's like, no, I is another letter because we had sex. And she's like, wow, okay.
So I guess this was fucking part of the deal.
Yep. And she slaps him and then storms off.
Oh.
And I was like, you and I. Oh my God.
Disgusting.
I was like, what words?
Actually, disgust has 7 letters. Would have been good. Okay, again, as I'm so confidently saying, like that could fit into that.
Guzman.
I do remember trying to decide, like, what would be the hardest letters to give?
Yeah.
Like, first. Mm-hmm. So you couldn't figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
No, them being out of order really threw everyone for a loop, I think, too. Because we're like, wait a minute.
I assumed that they were out of order, but I do appreciate that you went in, like, Wheel of Fortune order of, like, they give you,
Yeah.
It was good.
It's like playing Hangman, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
So he's like, why is she mad? And he goes to see the prince and he's like, well, it didn't work. And he takes the prince's feather and the prince is like, oh my God, you guys had sex? That's crazy. What?
What's
sexually
like?
with each other? That's disgusting. Tell me everything. And then Casimir is like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do to make her fall in love with me. And the prince is like, have you tried asking her what she wants from you to do so that she likes you? Have you tried?
Oh. It's good advice.
Yeah. And then they have sexy dinner.
He and the prince.
Yeah. He and the prince have sexy dinner.
This is where the book took a left turn.
It's like, oh, okay. He's deciding to try a different tactic, and I respect that. He's like, this is not panning out with her. I've got to find someone else really quickly. Casimir invites Gisela to sexy dinner.
Yeah.
And they're both weird about it and angry at each other sexually.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, this would all be easier if you just tell me the letters of your name. And he's like, okay, I'll tell you a letter from my name if you give me a naked dinner. And she's like, okay, how about 2 letters? And he's like, okay, deal. And then she's naked, and then she serves him dinner.
But angrily.
But angrily. From here on
She
out,
does
everything
everything angrily.
Yeah,
Like-
she's pissed. I don't blame her for this one.
No.
I was like,
Yeah.
I would've serving that soup in his lap.
Serve him that soup in my lap.
Woo! That's a slam dunk.
And then she serves him that soup in her lap.
Ew.
Almost.
Ew.
So she gets naked, and then he gives her the letter A, and then she gets naked, and then he gives her the letter S, and then from here on out, I'm just going to give you some facts. He opens up a bottle of wine, pours it all over her naked body, eats her out on the dinner table, and then later on,
Pretty good.
after that,
Real nice.
pretty good. Sorry, I'm not on camera anymore, but that was a thumbs up.
Everybody is
giving
giving
the,
thumbs up.
You know the Italian chef with like the thumbs up and like winking?
Yeah, I'm Little Caesar about this. That's a pizza.
That is a pizza, Scarlett. Good job.
I think my favorite part of that scene is when she spits in the soup, though.
Yeah.
Oh, that is really good. I skipped over that, and I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, she serves him soup, and then she spits in the soup, and then, yeah, and it's really
She's
good.
so hot and spiteful.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, she is.
And spitful.
And
I love
spiteful.
her.
Yeah.
So he eats her out, and then she's like, well, I'm mad at you, and then she storms off. At this point, my notes got pretty frantic because we were getting really close to when we had to record.
Oh, Lauren had already arrived at the house.
Oh.
I was making drinks.
She storms off. She gets very upset. She goes up to her room. She gets her axe with the thorns in it. She doesn't even care. And then she goes off to find him, and he is in his bed. And she's like, I'm going to murder you. And he's like, okay, good. And she's like, no, I'm gonna. And he's like, okay, good. Try it. And then they have sex again.
Yeah.
And then they're talking about how her sister died. You know how you do after.
They're emotionally connecting. This is
Yeah.
It does make sense in context.
It also makes
Yeah.
sense that this would happen for them after they fucked a couple times. Like,
Mhm.
they have to get the angry fucking out of the way before they make an emotional connection.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
She explains that when she was younger, she used to play with the fairies at the edge of the enchanted forest. And when her little sister found out, she went and scared the fairies away,
Mhm.
I believe. And Gisela was very upset about that and threw a tantrum and was like, I wish you were dead. And then her little sister got turned into a deer and ran into the forest. And Gisela spent the next 9 years searching after her to try and find her and save her, but she could never find her until the very end of a 10-year stretch when she finally found this deer that was her sister. And then out of nowhere, an arrow came and speared this deer through the heart. And the deer was consumed by the roots of a nearby tree, which she interpreted as just the forest was eating the corpse of her sister. However, when she
Or
is
was it?
or was it? Because as she's telling the story, Casimir is like, oh, your sister's not dead. And she's like, he's the fuck? What is the fuck? And he explains that sometimes trees like that are capable of healing people, especially if it's someone who, you know, is somehow related to the forest. So the tree has taken her in and is in the process of healing her. There's no way to know how long it's going to take or whether she will emerge in their lifetime or not. And Gisela immediately gets up and gets dressed and is like, well, I have to go figure out if she's alive. And he's like, okay, but you should wait until the morning because it's super dangerous. And then they have sex again.
Yeah.
And then in the morning, he wakes her up and he's like, okay, time to go. I promised I would take you to go help her. And then they get on his horse, Balthazar. He's new and great. She's like, I didn't know you had a horse. And he's like, this isn't my horse. This is just a horse that hangs out with me.
That's what I like. He's like, I don't have pets. He's just here and he's nice.
He said he would help. This is my friend.
I like that a lot.
I also like that a lot. She guides him on the horse to an old willow tree by a wide river, which is the last place that she saw her sister. she collapses at the tree's roots and is like, I don't know, like, it doesn't seem like she's still in here. And he's like, no, you have to listen. And then she listens and she hears a heartbeat in the forest underneath of the roots. And she's like, okay, how do we get her out? And he's like, well, we can't, and it'll just take time, but, you know, now at least you know that she's alive. No way to know when she will come back or if or whatever. And then
this is a cool setup.
It's really good.
This is a cool
really
setup.
good. A dead sister Jack in the Box.
Can that be the title of one of the books?
I don't know that it rhymes
Sister Jack.
with, like, what I have going on.
Does it fit?
I'll think about it.
That's way to be judicious, Scarlett.
Yeah.
I'll think about it, guys.
It's interesting. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying I would need to hear more.
And then in thanks, she gives him a letter from her name, G, from her name, Gisela, that we know and have known the entire time, and it was never a secret.
Forgot.
Baby.
A little bit.
He just never asked.
Her name is Creature.
They go back to the castle, and Casimir asks the prince what it feels like to be in love because he thinks he might be in love.
Aww.
And the prince is like, well, I don't know, it's good. And Casimir's like, well, what's it like for you? And the prince is like, well, you know, like I met a princess and then now we're going to get married, and that's what it's like.
Yeah.
And the prince expresses that he's worried that the princess is going to be married when he gets back because he's been gone for so long, and he's like, a princess has got to do what a princess has got to do. If their dad dies, she's got to marry somebody. And then Casimir's like, okay, well, that's not very helpful. And he goes up to his bedroom and he screams into his pillow, which made me laugh so hard. He, like, comes into his bedroom and Neve and the mirror there. Like,
I did
what happened? And he's like,
Lauren
you did?
drew that.
yeah, for the bound version. Yeah.
oh my god.
Wait, I want to see it.
It's not. I'll show it to you, but it's not in this version. In the bound version, not hardcover, but the next version that comes out with apples. Yeah.
It will be
So
hardcover.
I have extra.
Yeah, it will
I'm
be
so
a
hyped.
bound hardcover.
Yeah, hardcover,
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't wait to get it.
and it's
Yeah.
gonna be dope as fuck. It's
Yes.
and it's got additional stuff, but it does have Cassie screaming into a pillow like a fucking idiot.
I love it.
That's baby girl.
That is okay. No, this is where he becomes baby girl. That's He crosses the threshold. He becomes baby girl.
Confirmed baby girl.
Yeah. Add him to the list.
And he's like, what am I supposed to do? She's never gonna fall in love with me. We've had sex so many times. And then the mirror tells him, why don't you go on a picnic? Like how I suggested earlier. And then they go on a sexy little picnic.
This picnic made me cry, very unironically. I cried like a baby during this picnic. I was very upset during this.
It is a very sweet and beautiful emotional picnic. I would love to see what an ironic cry looks like. They have a very sexy picnic. As a reminder, at this point, I might have skipped a couple, but the letters that she has are UIASN.
Mm-hmm.
They have a sexy picnic, and they talk about what happens if he loses his name, and he's like, I don't know, I think I'll just disappear. And she's like, why, though? And he's like, I don't know. And then he looks at her face, and she's like, stop looking at me, it's weird. He's like, I'm trying to memorize your face so I don't forget. And she's like, do you think you're going to forget me? And he's like, I mean, I think I'm going to forget everything. And it's,
that is
This is-
really sweet.
I
Just-
know.
it's devastating.
It has such this whole plot line has such like a dementia and like losing your memory and forgetting your loved ones. I just am a fucking wreck with this plot line. It's just so sad. And he at this point he stopped being like, I have to make her, like, I have to do this. Like at this point he started to be like, you know what, actually this might be my new life. Like he's accepted it, and it's just like, let's just have a really good couple hours together. I hated this, Scarlett.
That's fair. That's fair.
I was like, you're not allowed to have a horny, angry, spiteful fairy and also make me cry thinking about dementia. That's actually illegal. You're going to jail.
I do love it though, because I think, you know, when you write romance, people think there can't be depth, right? When you have explicit sex in your books, people think that it has to be like there's no depth to the story, and there is. And I think
Yeah.
If you're, and you don't even have to look for it in my novels. It's there. It's in your fucking face. But people think because it has explicit sex, it's not,
No, that's 100% it. And it's, fuck you. Maybe I will cry a little.
So they are both worried that he's going to forget about her. And then they have sex about it. And then he's like, I would give you another letter if I could, but I don't think I remember my own name. And then he takes a little nap and she has a panic attack. But he says, perhaps I have miscounted the days. And it's coming sooner than I thought. And that made me freak out. What do you mean you miscounted the days?
Max really likes math. So the idea that somebody could miscount really upsets her.
No, it's just like if you're counting on it's like 7 brothers, 7 letters, 7 days. And then it's like, or maybe it's 6. I was like, no!
I think in his brain, he was like, oh, I'm ahead. Like, it is 7 days, but maybe we started at day 2 instead of the first day. Like, she didn't come in at the right time. But I couldn't fit the plot in the 7 days. And so I had to have a reason for him to have, already be losing his memory. Because I couldn't fit that plot into 7 days. And so I put that line in. And it does work, but it does fuck with your math for sure.
No, it just makes you start thinking like, oh my God, on the last couple of days, he's starting to lose himself already. That's unfair. Yes, that's not fair.
It's very fair.
Absolutely. And it's also,
I think, because they're it's
it is.
very unfair.
Yeah. Ugh, it's so sad.
It's also super fair. Like, logically, I'm like, why did I assume that he had counted right for 9 years and change? Like, you wouldn't count every day correctly. I was like, why did I believe him?
He also...
Obviously, it could be incorrect.
He also has said from the beginning, like, he's been having this, like, he's been putting on the air of, like, I don't care. I don't care about this. Like, this doesn't affect me. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like, I don't care. And now that he's starting to care, what it's turned into is an acceptance of, if this has to happen, then at least I had these couple of days with you. And, like, that switch fucking got me. But it's a difference in how he's thinking. Hey, Scarlett, go fuck yourself.
You know what? I do.
Yes! Respect.
Yes,
all right,
please.
Scarlett, you can come back.
Okay, and so then while he's taking a little nap and she's having a panic attack, she reviews the facts of the riddle and the letters that she already has, and she starts thinking about how terrible all of this is, and then she puts together his name.
What are you holding for dramatic effect? Say the name.
She realizes that his name is Anguish.
And damn, that was so good.
It was good.
Yeah,
it was good.
Chef's kiss.
All the letters and the riddle of, like, that's the wail on the cry of a mother. Like, good Lord.
Yeah.
I did not see that one coming
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, that was really good. I'm a Riddler, and that one got me.
Max is the Riddler.
I'm the Riddler.
Now you know. Her cover is
The
blown.
Batman. Gisela goes to tell the prince what his name is, but meanwhile, she turns around to go find him, and there's another prince, and it's Prince Flynn, the guy from the basement.
Oh, yeah.
He's escaped. He was definitely sneaking up on her, and then she turned around really fast, and he's like, hey, what's up? Hey, girl. He's like, don't worry, I'm here to rescue you. And she's like, I don't need to be rescued. And he's like, no, don't worry, I'm going to rescue you. And then a bunch of pixies attack her, and she's like, what the fuck? And they tie her hands behind her back with a vine, and then the prince gives the pixies some little buttons off of his shirt as payment for aiding and abetting his kidnapping her.
He's rescuing her, but okay. He's already said it's a rescue.
He tells her that she is going to take him to the mountains, he is going to get his apple, and then she is going to come back with him to his kingdom and help him wage war on the Prince of Thorns. Also, he has her axe, which she assumes the pixies probably also helped him with.
Yeah.
Also, he's missing a bunch of other buttons from his shirt, which initially I was like, why does he have to have a sexy shirt? But it makes sense because of the pixies.
He's been trading
Yeah.
buttons the whole time. Even fucking Casimir has noticed this. He's like, wow, he has so many less buttons than he had before.
Do you need a new shirt?
He's even like, I hope he's not making deals with the pixies. That would suck for him.
I think he warns him not to do it because he sees him at
He
the
does.
window. Yeah. So
Yeah. And then he does it anyway, the idiot.
What an idiot. The prince, who his name is revealed to be Prince Flynn, forces Gisela to bring him to Wolf the Raven. And then he's like, okay, but she tells him to drink the water so that he will get small so that they can ride the raven to the mountains. And then he's like, you have to drink first. And then she drinks it and then she gets really small. And then he's like, okay, great, it's safe. And then he drinks it. And then Wolf the Raven picks him up and flies him all the way up into the sky and then drops him.
Yeah, Wolf.
And it's like, oh no, he's going to die off screen. He's going to be so small and he's just going to fall into the water and then he'll be fine. But don't worry, a hawk swoops in and eats him. Yeah, I fully clapped. And I was like, good. Perish.
So good.
A hawk eats him, and then Gisela sees something fly by, and it's the pixies that helped him to kidnap her, and she grabs them out of the air and squishes them in her hand, just completely emotionlessly. Casimir appears, and she tells him that her name is Gisela, and he says, okay, well, the only thing I want in this entire world is you. And then they fade to black, and then there's like a little time passes, and the next thing you see is that she is wearing like a crown of thorns and darkness and riding on
And
Balthazar
also
the horse.
pixie wings.
And also a crown of, oh my
Also
god, I
pixie
forgot,
wings.
a crown of pixie wings. Oh, fucking incredible.
Her spoils.
Yeah.
But
that
she
was very
said-
intentional.
Oh,
It
so
was.
good.
There was a joke earlier on where she was like, if these pixies don't fucking leave me alone, I'm gonna make a crown out of their wings.
Yes.
And that
then
bitch
she
did.
fucking does.
And
We
that
love
bitch
it. No
did.
empty threats.
Yeah.
So she has a crown of pixie wings, and she is wreathed in darkness and thorns, riding on Balthazar, the horse, with her fiancé, Anguish. And she rides into town, back to Elk, and everyone's like, oh my god, I thought she was dead. Who's that guy? Like, what happened? We thought that she died in the well.
Who's
with her
your hot
toad."
androgynous boyfriend?
Yeah.
They don't see him yet, do they?
No, yeah,
don't remember.
she's her dress. She's wearing
Yeah.
his-
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
duh,
she
I
just-
drew
Oh my
it.
god,
That
I
was the-
forgot about that.
That was the coolest reveal. Is that it's just her on Balthazar, and she's wearing this like and you like almost over describe the dress. So it's like you're really focused on how the dress looks on her, and then she comes up and they're like, how the fuck are you still alive? And she's like, hi, bitches.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
And then her dress becomes her boyfriend, and they murder Sheriff Roland together, and it's so, so good, and they are in love, and they ride off into the sunset together.
She's
The
like,
end.
have you met my husband? Anguish. And then all of a sudden her boobs are revealed, and everyone's like, ah. And then they realize there's a guy behind her. They're like, ah.
I love her riding back into town as
love
King
having
Bitch.
like
She's
a
just
truly naked female in a lot
Yes.
of my books because I think people are so offended by the naked female form. So anytime I can
Yes.
do it, I'm like, let's do it.
It's like, especially her on the horse, like it's like a Lady Godiva sort of element to this thing. It's the coolest. It was such a cool ending. I liked it.
it was spectacular.
Scarlett, great book.
Man, how long? I bet people could read this in the time it took you to summarize.
I was
bet
thinking
they
the
could.
same thing. The audiobook is only like 5 hours long.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like 3 hours if you listen on like
Uh,
higher than one
yeah.
time speed. It's
Okay, so when you said recap, we actually meant retelling the story.
full retelling with footnotes.
Fantastic. Okay. So for the listeners, we're going to take a mini break and then we'll be right back. And we're back. All right. Max, fantastic retelling.
Thank you.
Good
It was a fantastic book.
It
I
was-
had a great time.
Yeah. And I had a great time listening to it again with you talking. Scarlett, how is it hearing somebody retell your whole book to you?
With
I'm
increasing
very
panic.
embarrassed by everything I wrote, but but also impressed with myself.
Yeah, good.
It's a masterpiece.
And that's what we call the sweet spot. So the first question I would like to ask is for both of you, since we have both of you on here. Lauren, you illustrated this book, and you're illustrating all the books, I assume. It would be really weird if
No, just
If
this
you
one.
just
And we're
do the
handing
first-
it off to somebody else.
you do the first two, and then Scarlett's like, and that's enough.
No, we've had this
So-
conversation. I've been like, Lauren, you have to be in this for the long haul.
Lauren's like, I'll do one.
And I'm like
illustration.
internally panicking, like, what if she doesn't like it enough and she wants somebody else to do it? And she's like, what if Lauren doesn't want to do it? And I'm like, what if Scarlett doesn't want to do it?
So the first question I would like to ask is, just first, how did the two of you meet? Scarlett, what drew you to Lauren as an illustrator? Like, can we talk a little bit about your guys' history?
I had this idea for, I wanted to have an illustrated fairy tale retelling because I wanted to capture the feel of an anthology, like the Grimm anthologies that you see on the shelf that are hardback and, illustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked my friend Ashley at Novel Candle Co., like, hey, can you put the word out? I need like an artist who can really capture a fairy tale vibe. And Jack Whitney actually suggested Lauren, and I went to her page and I was like, thank God she follows me, like maybe she likes my books and she'll willing to do the thing. And so I followed her, and then I waited a little bit because I didn't want to be a fucking weirdo, and then she
And then
made
I was a
story
weirdo.
about how she made a story about how excited she was about me following her. I was like, oh, it's safe. And so I messaged her with my idea because your art is so beautiful, and I think what I love about it is it's so unique, and it has this horror element to it that I want to capture in fairy tales, because I think people always ignore that in retellings, is they don't get creepy enough, and they don't get like gory enough, and I'm like, fairy
it's
tales
just
are very
pretty
violent
and frilly.
and that was sort of the thing, and it's
Yeah, Lauren is going to give sexy, and she will not give Disney.
No.
And that's...
Well, that's actually one time somebody on Reddit described my art. I posted something and somebody was like, I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but this is like scary stories you tell in the dark, but like sexy. And I was like,
yeah.
yes.
There's no wrong way to take that.
That's it.
Yes.
That's the tagline.
Yeah, fantastic. I didn't know that. You guys are so cute.
Yeah, but I was so excited when you just followed me, because I'd read all of like that was up out of Touch of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
I read everything that was out.
Lauren got me to read Touch of Darkness.
I got everybody to read your
Lauren
books.
came over here, as she often does. She came over, dropped off all the books, and was like, have fun. And then she like left again.
I did.
Yeah, I never know if when I reach out to an artist, if they know who I am at all. I never assume that. And I remember like when you were following me back, I was like, oh, thank God, maybe there's a chance she'll want to do this, because it is a big commitment. Like I was asking for, I didn't know how many illustrations I was asking for. I'm also asking Lauren to be chaos with me, essentially, because when I reached out to her, I didn't have a book written. I said, I'm going to write this book. Your
publisher your publisher didn't even know you were writing the book.
No. No. Because I'm insane. And but I was like, here's the concept. Like, I read The Devil and the Three Golden Hairs, and I know it starts here.
Oh, so good.
And I started to send her snippets of it. And, but you said yes from the beginning.
I was like, yeah, whatever. Anything you want, I'll do it. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember feeling like scared about it, being like, are you sure? Like, because this is 7 books and I blah, blah, blah. And it was interesting because initially, like I told you, I wanted it to be in a physical edition. And at first they were like, no, we just want to do an ebook because it's a novella. It's actually longer than a novella. It is a novel. It's considered a novel. And then I convinced that they were like, oh, we'll release a bound edition. And so it became sort of, because I write on a really dumb schedule, like a really stupid schedule. We only put a certain number of illustrations in that like smaller edition, the paperback edition. And then Lauren's been working on more for the bound edition. So it's working out really, really fantastic, even though we talk all the time in DMs about how crazy we both are.
We're both like little chaos goblins when it comes to like
Yeah. But we work the same way, so
Yeah.
it works really well.
Ugh,
Yeah.
perfect.
we both
Thank God.
have our ADHD superpower to where we'll
Yeah.
find anything else to work on, but then when there's a deadline coming up, we're like,
Yeah.
Tunnel vision. Like
Yeah.
we're only doing
And then
this.
I'll be like, hey, Lauren, look at this. Like, here's this book I'm working on. Wouldn't
Oh,
it be
yeah,
cool if
that's-
we did this.
because in the meantime, we're supposed to be working on other books. She'll be like, oh, I started writing this other book, and I want you to do portraits for this book.
Oh my god. Scarlett.
I know.
Okay, new question. How many books are you currently working on?
Just one. But while I was writing Apples Dipped in Gold, this other book like slammed into my head. And I was telling Lauren, I was like, I can't focus on apples because these two characters will not shut up. And it's a miracle that I wrote Apples Dipped in Gold. And I think Apples Dipped in Gold is such a gem. It is so, I don't know, it's different from Mountains. It is so beautiful. It is such a gem. And I thought that this entire series, sorry, I hit my mic. I thought this entire series was going to be fun and like silly and just like, I don't know. And then I got to Apples and I was like, why is this serious all of a sudden? But it's because of the themes, right? Like in fairy tales, you have abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a virginal character. I never write virginal characters anymore. Like Persephone was my last one in A Touch of Darkness, and ever since then I'm on like sex on page 2. And it's not like that. So it was just so different and so sweet. And I remember like bringing Lauren along on that journey.
I just
And,
just loved you being like, so I think this is what's gonna happen, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that just like, popped up in your brain. And you're like, so I think this is
Yeah,
her
I
name,
don't
and
know,
think
but
she
I
looks
love
like
that
this.
you're there with me.
It's so cool to watch. Well, it's cool to watch as an artist. So we're both artists in a way, but we both have different mediums. But I still think we kind of work similarly, and we have the same like thought processes. But it's really cool to see it like in a different medium than mine.
Yeah.
You know.
But same too for me, because it's like I can't do what you do, and I think like that there's so much beauty in having, something that is in your brain come outside of your brain, but in a different way, like imagined in a way that is perfect but different all at the same time. And being able to like you don't even know how giddy I get when you send it. I was like, oh my god, and I send it to like I have this inner circle of people that I send it to. I'm like, look at this, look at what Lauren sent me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So it's just the coolest thing.
Well,
And
I'm not
I'm
allowed to
very
tell
grateful
anybody
to
about any of the
do it.
stuff you tell me.
What?
I said I'm not allowed to tell anybody the stuff you tell me.
No, you can't. That's the hard part, right?
Yeah, I know. So I'm excited by myself. But I still think it's cool that you're just like, oh, this person.
Because you've never signed an NDA, but you're a good girl.
Yeah, no, but I would never. But I still think it's cool that I'm just like. But when you're like, these characters just won't leave me alone. I'm like, that's just so cool. It's like these, like you have all these little worlds in your head. They just pop up and they're like, okay, my turn, Scarlett.
Yeah, but it's really funny though, because like I said, the first scene that I heard for Gisela and Cassie was like the horny fairy scene, and like that's how they come in, right? Like that's a wild way to be introduced to two people. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
That's just the way they show up.
So one more thing, and I do think that this is, unless you have another question that you're thinking of, but I think this is going to be my last question. I'm just going to skip down. Max and I talk all the time on the podcast about, because part of our podcast is just making each other laugh or gasp or cringe at retelling fairy tales. That's what we do. So look exactly what Max did. Welcome to the podcast. It's your crash course. But it's also, we try to really focus on discussing how to ethically source folktales. And this comes up again and again and again about authors. The Grimm's brothers, they didn't really do this. Andrew Lang does this a bit. He's a little bit better at it. But as we keep going, people don't really credit where they got these inspirations from. They'll just say, you know, well, this story, and especially with using other cultures, this happens a lot with Native American stories, where people are like, you know, you'll see from the 1900s, some white people will go in and they'll take the stories and they'll write a book called Sioux Stories, and they don't tell who they got it from. And what I liked about your book, and it's the same thing with using an illustrator, is not a lot of people are using illustrators anymore for adult stories. And also, when they're doing these fairy tale retellings, which are becoming more popular, you know, using myths and stories, they don't source where they got them from. And your book actually comes with a reference where people can check. At the end of the book, there's a reference that says, this is where you can find these stories. And it's the coolest thing that you don't see, especially in like these romantasy books. You don't see that. And I can think of a couple authors that have gotten really big off of using actual cultural fairy tales that don't actually say where they got them. So when did you start doing that? Like, was that something that you have always, because you have a master's in library sciences, so is that where it came from, or?
Yeah, I think it's just important for people to know that I am retelling stories that already exist in a new way. And that's all myth ever is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we're just trying to understand the world around us. And that's all I'm doing now is I'm trying to tell a story about how I'm living life right now. But I think it's so important to know source material because it tells us a lot about our history and our culture. And if you're listening, maybe you can learn some things from that and not repeat past mistakes, right? And I do it in everything. This was the first book I actually did a list of references for because I think it's important to note that there are so many different translations of every fairy tale and they're retold over and over again. So I wanted to list those because I did pick and choose like, oh, this had this version or this had this like verbiage. I like this word better. So it is a very like methodical process for me. But I see this all the time. You know, I see people like, you know, accuse other authors of like stealing something that has existed for thousands of years. I don't want that, you know? So I do think it's important to note those things. But yeah, a big part of it though is my love of research. I do it in all my books. Yeah. I have an author's note in all my books and I will tell you the books that I've read to research for everything. So But my fairy tale retellings are so heavily influenced by other fairy tales, like very clearly. Like, I mean, everything that is in very few things in those books, I didn't take from existing fairy tales, right? And if I didn't, I was inspired by, right? So I think it's very important that even though it feels like a book that is mine, I still like wouldn't have crafted it without all of those resources.
Mm-hmm. It was just really cool to look. I know that Max clocked it right away too, because that's our biggest complaint all the time. It was just a very cool thing to see at the end, and it just makes me excited to read the next ones.
I'm glad you took the chance to go that far in the book because I think a lot of people just end with the end.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, Max, do you have anything anything you want to ask, or?
I have a question, and it's fine if you don't have an answer, but have you read any fairy tales that you don't anticipate using in any of your upcoming books that you really, really love?
That I really love?
Yeah, just a fairy tale that you really, really love, but that you don't think you're going to use in a book. Because I don't want to spoil any of the future books, but I would love to know what kinds of fairy tales you like.
That's so funny because I think there are fairy tales I read and I think, oh, I love this, but it's not for now. And I can't tell that it won't be for something else. It's just not right for that story. Mm. And some overlap, like, you know, there is some of the Seven Brothers in, you know, the second in Apples, and it's very heavily influenced in Mountains Made of Glass. So I was very surprised to see like how much it makes sense that they overlap because those stories are connected. But I will say that there are fewer, I think, Hans Christian Andersen stories that I use because they're fucking weird. And they're a whole other level. Yeah, they're just also like, yeah, it's very interesting. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I even like have you like, especially like I reference those things in interesting ways. Like, for example, like Hans Christian Andersen is very much like the religious overtones are very huge. The Christianity influence is very huge there. So in Mountains Made of Glass, I reference the plagues just as a nod to Hans Christian Andersen.
Mhm.
So like nothing is untouchable for me. Like, and I think it's fun. It's like Tetris, and I suck at Tetris, but I can do this.
I will also say Casimir throwing himself down onto his pillow and screaming into his pillow is very Hans Christian Andersen coded. That was one dramatic bitch.
That's very fair. Yeah, I agree.
All right. So I thought that this is stupid. So if we cut this, if I cut this, I won't be mad at myself. But I thought it would be fun to play like a game.
It could be fun.
I'm only laughing because I'm looking at it and I'm realizing the game is maybe only fun for me. I call it Actually Written or Made Up by Janie.
Oh, God.
And I have made a list of books. I love these, specifically the smutty books that are parodies. So not like actual like novels, but the ones that people write that are just like Forked. Have you ever heard of Forked? Where a woman fucks a sentient fork. So I thought that I would give you a list of woman fucks blank. And then you guys, all three of you, because Max doesn't know this list, you guys decide, is this real or did Janie make this one up?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. Number 1, Woman and Marshmallow Peep.
Wait, that's the title?
No, this is the ship. That's the woman fucks a marshmallow peep.
I'm going to say that's real.
I mean, I feel like that has to exist.
Okay. You?
Yeah.
If you can fuck a door.
You can fuck a door.
If you can fuck a door, you can fuck a peep.
That's a quote we're going to use for this. Yes, that one is real. That one is Mating with Marshmallows by Nora Noodle.
What?
Nora Noodle.
I'm more concerned that her name's Nora Noodle.
Yeah, it's a woman has sex.
It's terrible but great.
It's terrible but great. Oh, also, I also have to preface, this is said with so much love, and also the authors wrote this to be funny and also to have written something. So they're in on the joke most of the time as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So absolutely no ill will towards anybody. I think these are fun. Mating with Marshmallows by Nora Noodle. A woman has sex with giant buff radioactive Easter peeps.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Peeps.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Peeps. And one of the reviews from Book Talk was, the Mallows seem to know exactly what to do. A choreographed dance of the Sugar Plum Dicks. All right. That one is real. Okay, number 2. Woman and anatomically incorrect teddy bear.
Oh.
What does anatomically incorrect
what
mean
does
in
that
this
mean?
context?
What does that mean?
Think about what a bear has or doesn't have.
Human penis.
I would bet that is true. I bet that exists.
Yeah.
What do you think, Scarlett?
I'm going to say no.
Okay. Well, that one exists. It's called Banging My Birthday Bear by Holly Wilde.
Holly, that is wild.
A woman has sex with a giant becocked teddy bear her friends gave her for her birthday party.
Becocked?
I wrote that. Here's a review by Charity. I'm still processing that he's coming fluffy cotton candy. 4 stars.
4 stars.
Inside?
Love it.
Yeah.
That's a yeast infection.
That's a yeast infection for sure.
And also, it's just disappearing. Like that raccoon in the river.
All right. Number 3. Woman and Santa Claus's stuffed to the brim toy sack.
Oh, I thought you were just going to end at Santa Claus. And I was like, that definitely.
Yeah, there's plenty of those.
There's got to be dozens, if not hundreds.
Woman and Santa Claus's stuffed to
I'm
the
gonna say
brim
no.
toy sack.
No, I think it's a
What
man
if they
and
are
a stuff
all
to the
actually
brim.
both?
They're all women.
I think it's a trick question.
There's got to be a trick to this.
Max thinks it's a trick question. They both say. So you all say no, and Scarlett says yes, they're all real. All right. This one was made up by me.
Woo!
All right.
But someone could write it. Like, you better copyright this shit.
I'm here to give everyone advice on what to write. Okay, number 4. Woman and slutty crocheted candy corn.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like that can't. that's
Candy
too
corn
specific.
sexy.
Woman and slutty crocheted candy corn. Max says no. Lauren says yes. Scarlett says too sexy.
That's just unpleasant texturally to think about.
Yeah.
I just don't like that.
Max
I'm a
was
big
fine
fan of
with-
candy corn, so I think I'm being swayed.
The answer is yes, it's real. It's called Corny by Sabrina Cross. A woman crochets a slutty candy corn and it gets possessed by a demon.
What the
That
fuck?
feeling when.
Are all these on Kindle Unlimited?
The review is weird and sweet in its own twisted way. Oh yeah, she gave the candy corn hooker boots and giant boobies. 4 stars.
4 stars.
I love how these are all
Okay. These people are way more creative than I am.
Okay, number 5. Woman and a deviled egg.
That one's real.
Max is like, I've read it.
Deviled eggs. People,
But how
there's
does that work?
I don't know, but deviled eggs have like a. Have you been seeing the egg flights?
I got
on
something
TikTok
about 'em,
recently?
you know.
Like,
And, you know, eggs.
deviled eggs are having a moment.
They're having a moment. Okay, so yes or no?
I say yes.
No.
Okay. I think Scarlett, you're hoping it's wrong. It's real.
I'm hoping it's wrong.
It's called The Deviled Egg Made Me Do It by Holly Wilde again. Holly Wilde, I'm only using 2 from her, but
Holly!
she's making, listen, I hope Holly Wilde is like rolling around in a tub full of money because she really does give the people what they didn't ask for, but they are reading.
Yeah, it's so true.
I would like to pitch an alternate title for that. And this is shilling to the current cultural moment, but I think it should be named, Is Somebody Gonna Match My Paprika?
Pretty good. The review of this book, somebody wrote out a synopsis. It says, look, it's a short read book about a giant deviled egg railing a woman before her dinner guests come over.
Before the dinner guest.
So it is a giant devil.
Yeah,
egg.
it turns into a
Okay.
man. And also, I also had to include this because I'm never going to read this just based off of this.
Everything about it?
Luce on Goodreads says, the worst thing about this book is the safe word being cluck, cluck. Also, how many eggs can one woman fit in her ass? Genuine question, because it can't be 12, surely. 3 stars.
3
No!
This is why I think Holly Wilde is fucking with everyone. People were...
For sure. And
Yeah.
she should, because that's great.
Okay, next one. Woman and a garden rake.
Honestly,
No.
I just after a deviled egg and a peep, like I'm just.
I mean, do I think that it probably exists? Yes. Do I think you made it up? Also, yes.
Scarlett, thank you. It's real. It's called Rake by Nicole Parker. A witch punishes a man for being slutty by turning him into a rake that sits in some woman's garage. And that woman
Okay,
has...
that's clever.
And then that woman has a threesome with it. So
Oh,
there's
wait.
a man, there's another guy with it.
Yeah, good for her.
My favorite review, this is a 5-star review. Needed more rake play, but I still loved this. 5 stars. All right.
Okay, but it's so clever because it's a play on a rake.
Yep.
From,
Yeah, I
the
love that.
Regency era.
Yeah. And he was punished for being too slutty. I like that. All right. Okay. Number 7. Woman and the reanimated corpse of Christopher Columbus.
Oh,
No.
I hope not, because Christopher Columbus doesn't
Fuck
deserve.
Christopher Columbus.
Yeah,
That's-
this is.
Scarlett, that's what the book is.
No, literally, like,
No.
what a douche.
Yeah.
What a murderer.
Yes. Horrible.
Not interested.
Woman
Yeah.
and the... But keep in mind how many conservative books have been written about Christopher Columbus. There's that man who has a whole fantasy
Listen.
book. Was it Rush Limbaugh or somebody who wrote like a fantasy book about sitting on a plane with Christopher Columbus?
Maybe.
Oh, it's like, it reads like erotica. I haven't read it. But I kind of want to now that I'm talking about it. Okay, so yes or no?
I want to say no.
I just
because,
don't want it to exist.
Yeah, I don't want it to exist. I don't.
That one was made up by
Why
Janie.
though?
No, good.
Like, everything else kind of makes sense, kind of.
Don't
like,
worry,
this
guys.
much, but this is not.
I feel like that does exist. I feel like some conservative wrote that. All right. Number 8. Woman and a grocery monster.
Yes.
That's what's
It
a
has
grocery
monsters?
Anything monster.
Anything monster.
Anything monster.
Yeah.
You guys are really good. This one is called Bagged by Groceries by Fanny Tucker.
Yes, Fanny Tucker.
Fanny Tucker.
When Ashley Dubois tossed the big fat cucumber in her shopping cart, she intended to put it in a salad. Hold on. She intended to put it in a salad, but the grocery monster had another place in mind.
So to clarify, I just want to make sure I understand the semantics here. There's a grocery monster at the grocery store.
I think it came home with her.
And she went there to purchase a cucumber. She purchases a single cucumber, and then the monster puts the cucumber on? Is that... I'm just trying to make sure I understand.
Here's my favorite review. It's a review from Emma. You know what? Good for her. 1 star. All right, I only have 3 left. So guys, it's coming to an end. Woman and a Thanksgiving turkey.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure it
Absolutely.
does.
Absolutely.
That has to happen in real life too, though.
Yeah.
Who amongst us hasn't fucked a Thanksgiving turkey?
Okay, this one, yes, it is real. It's called Stuffed by the Were Turkey by Tate McKirk.
Oh, a were turkey.
Yeah.
That's
That's why it's not like when you present it like that, like she had a turkey. I'm like, I don't know. And then you add where in front of it. And I'm like, yeah, I would have totally said that was legit.
A little too specific.
wear anything.
Okay, so Stuffed by a Were Turkey by Tate McKirk. It's Thanksgiving and a were turkey has sex with a woman. And at one point she screams, I think I need seconds.
And I hope she gets those seconds.
Here's the biggest complaint about this book. This book was very low rated. The biggest complaint from everyone was people wanted clearer consent at the beginning. They thought the were turkey was a little bit hasty.
Oh.
Oh, not her.
Nope.
Okay.
No, she's a vegan.
Oh.
Oh.
I would like to pitch also for this. She says, I'm sorry, would you repeat the line for me?
I know exactly what you're going to do.
She says, I think I need seconds.
None for me. I'm stuffed.
Oh, gosh. Pass the gravy. All right.
It turns out I'm Holly Wild.
Next one. Woman and the general concept of scurvy.
That's a Chuck Tingle.
Oh, what?
That's gotta be a Chuck Tingle.
Woman and the general concept of scurvy.
What, it's just like a pirate book? It's like pirates?
Yeah, is it just pirates?
Keep in mind, there is
pirates?
a book where a woman fucks COVID.
There are many books.
Yeah,
where
there's a
women
lot
fuck
of
COVID.
like books about that. So woman and the general.
I feel like you're just trying to tell us that because you made it up and you want to be validated.
I actually
notice
wrote
all
this
the
one.
ones she's made up.
This
She's
one-
been like, "Oh, hey."
This
by
one
the way.
is real, and I wrote it.
Ew.
No, I'm kidding.
And it releases on October 1st. So the link is in the show notes for this episode.
Scarlett, if you could write the cover blurb, I would really appreciate it.
As a rule, I don't.
You'll make an exemption for scurvy.
For the scurvy.
Okay, we need the results. The reviews are in. Max says Chuck Tingle, yes. What do you say?
Oh, I say no.
You say no. Scarlett?
I say no.
This one was
Please,
made
no.
up by me. But it could be a Chuck Tingle, Max. That one is for you.
Yeah.
I'm just so relieved that you made that one.
We don't need that one in the world. And the last one, woman and a balloon animal.
Oh, that's
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Squeak.
It's called Squeak. And Scarlett, there is a sequel. It's called The Squeakle.
I know. She also wrote Unhinged.
Yes,
which is like
she wrote
the door-
Unhinged. And she wrote Stuffed, which is a woman fucking her pillow. And
Yep.
she wrote Double Stuffed, which is a woman going back for seconds. This is Vera Valentine, a balloon animal shifters whose cum tastes like funnel cake frosting and caramel, and it is an Omega-versed book.
Oh.
And the review from Tanvir, I was genuinely taken aback by the incredible wholesomeness of this book.
I just can't imagine that's true.
That actually came up more than once. People were like, this book, wholesome as hell. Squeak.
Scarlett, I love that you knew what it was.
Yeah. Scarlett, did you read it? What do you think?
I didn't actually read it, but I was on Book Talk around the time that everyone was, and I'm not an Omegaverse person, so like I don't tend toward those books, but I feel like, I mean, she's fucking awesome for doing that. Like,
She's another one. Holly Wilde and Vera Valentine. I hope they're rolling in tubs full of money because the way that they crank out these little books, and people genuinely, they're like, why did I read this again? And then you'll see the same reviewers like 10 more times on all the rest of her books. And I'm like, because you got an audience. Good for you.
I think the fun part about it is just fun.
Yeah.
And like, too often people make reading so serious. I make reading serious because I have a lot of depth and like thing, but it's what it's meant to be, just fun.
Well, and that's also with reading all the reviews. I don't usually read reviews, but going through reviews, trying to look for stuff, there were people that were like, oh my God, what is this? Like, this is so embarrassing. Who would write this? And then all the responses to that, people being like, the point of these books is to have fun. Like, you chose to read a book that you knew was about a woman fucking a balloon animal shifter, and you're mad that that's what the book was. It's also really weird that you wanted a serious version of that. And
I think this makes light of the balloon animal fucker community.
There actually is a balloon community.
No, I know. They're called looners.
Looners. Oh, Lauren.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
I've learned something.
Oh, but now that you guys know it, you're gonna go back to your husband's, incorporate some balloon animals in the bedroom.
Never. I don't like circus themed things, so I would never.
I just don't like the squeaking.
I was scared of balloons I don't like loud noises. That's why I make Max always open all the champagne bottles.
Oh, I also make Max open all the champagne bottles.
I don't like sudden loud
I'm
noises.
the designated champagne opener.
Yeah.
Like you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that this recording went off without a hitch. I mean, it felt very professional. What do you guys think?
Oh, the chaos.
Scarlett and Lauren, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Today.
This is so much fun.
Yeah, thank you.
This is for sure the longest book club episode, which is actually saying something because Tam Lin was a long one.
Yeah.
But I think it was the most fun. So
I had a great time. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you for putting up with me probably a little bit butchering the plot of the book. But this was such a fun time, and I'm so glad.
Great.
This is way more fun than NPR. Last time we were on NPR.
Scarlett, I know that I'm not really sure about how Apples has been released yet, because I know that like the audiobook or the ebook has been released, right? So do you have any like dates on when people can go out and buy a physical copy yet?
October 29th, the physical editions come out. And then next year we'll have a bound edition hardcover. And
guys,
it'll have a fancy ribbon, like most fairy tale retellings or fairy tale anthologies do. So
amazing, and we will have 2 copies of that for our house. So
yes,
Max and I don't share books. We have a lot of 2 copies of a lot of books.
That's fair.
Yeah. We just want to have it. Thank you so much for joining us again. If they want to send you some love and give you a follow and look at your artwork or look at your TikToks or whatever, what social media handles do you want them to go to? Lauren, we'll start with you.
I am at Lauren Boyle on everything.
On everything. Yeah. Go watch her TikToks. They are really fucking good. If you like book talk, you will like Lauren's everything. And Scarlett, where can they find you?
I think I'm author Scarlett St. Clair. I think. Am I author?
I think
I
so.
think you're author Scarlett St. And then some of your emails are Scarlett St. Clair author. So I get them confused
Just
sometimes.
type that in somehow, and if it's a verified account, it's me.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Also, you just type in Scarlett St. Clair, you'll see so much fan art.
Yeah.
And just peruse at your pleasure.
Yeah.
And you can find Max and I everywhere at Sort of the Story. And you can email us at sortofthestory@gmail.com or contact us on Discord and chat about this episode. And, I don't know, ask us questions and we'll we'll see if Lauren will answer them. And
We're like not bothering Scarlett anymore after this.
Scarlett's smiling so hard. She's like, lose my number. And we will chat with you guys on the next episode of Sort of the Story. Thank you for hanging out. Okay, guys. Bye. You gotta say bye, Max.
Bye.
Bye, Max.
Okay, everybody, we're gonna say goodbye all together, like our claps. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.